master. I don't deal with domesticated.
Hey, the fuck? I ain't got no master, but I do have your little toy.
Show me the idol. Show me the Redeemer.
Here you go, mate.
Hey,
Yo, hand it over. I got a hot date who don't do late.
Monkey's got a date.
Mwah.
What? What?
What? That's Swiss fucking chocolate.
Oh, fuck!
Bon appetito.
I want every
Good morning, all.
cop in this fucking city.
Excuse the swears, friend.
That fucking bastard!
I was rewatching the Beyond Good and Evil trailer and sending some email. Oh, okay. I am so sorry, friendos. Alright! Gerald, Graphite Sparrow, Alnus, Ardun, Patros. How are you all doing, friends? Martin Games. Right? How good is this trailer? Bismarck, Lizzie. I am so sorry, friends. How long was I? Okay, only about a minute. Alright. Stepagen, thank you for shaking me. Thank you for giving me a little poke, a little shake. Let me know it was live. Sorry. How are you all doing, friends? Alright, but...
It's anniversary day. Next stop long ship day 2020.
Oh, feck, yeah. One step closer. Wraith, cheers to you. Stepagen! Getting Carl R as a hunt. That's pretty good. That's some strong hunting there. Oh, sorry, I've been watching this trailer a few times this morning, and so one of the things that I have written on my little list of things to do each day is just post something nice on Twitter, and it's been great because it means that every time I sit down to say something to the world, I'm like, am I putting out the stuff that I want to see in the world? And I wanted to have a little rage about how Beyond Good and Evil's not going to be in the how Beyond Good and Evil's not coming out for at least 2 more years, if it's not cancelled.
Moksha, just as Yama described it. True freedom lies beyond.
Yo, Bismarck, that's dope. Alright, give me a couple seconds. Because also, Jenny Nexus, Martin, how are you doing? Tell me you are both going to be at sober. Because I wouldn't say burnout as much, but this whole week, for some reason, I've just been unable to sleep more than about a couple hours. So I have not been the most coherent of responders, but I do want to talk to you both about the thing that we were chatting about on Discord. That hasn't gone away. And if you are doing GDC as well, then that would be fucking cool that I get to introduce you to peoples. You probably already know them, you know what I'm saying. Wow, I went off in 3 different directions there. So it was just one of those things of rather than rage about the fact that Ubisoft, because of their failings at creating essentially the same game ad infinitum, that the titles that added variation and flavor are probably going to suffer from that. I was like, you know what? Let's celebrate at least that. Let's celebrate at least that. How fucking good that trailer was. You know, not a single pasty white bloke in sight. The soundtrack is not a mournful indie cover of a well-known fucking 80s or 90s track. It's Asian Dub Foundation. Only mildly edited, I might add, because that song does go on for about a minute longer than it should. Which, if you've never heard of them, they were a kind of yeah, they were a thing in the 90s. They were very good. Kind of a counter to a lot of the hate that was going on at the time against Indian and Pakistani immigrants in the UK. They were kind of like a hip-hop counter movement to that. Ray says, since you mentioned it, can we assume that Skull and Bones has skipped another year? Possibly. Oh no, Neopale, no! Heaven even. No. I know I have no control over this situation, but... So, hang on. Oh. Neopale, where are you? Why are you like this? Did the dabs not tempt you away? Did I... Sorry, did the nice not tempt you away? Oh! It's a fucking laser war! Okay, so friends. Neopale was like, ha, unleashing dab. Alpha Deluge is like, ha, counter dab. Stepper Jam's like, ha, counter dab. Lily, do! Thank you. So that's a counter, or a counter to the counter. So I've got to make an ass of myself. Lily Longbean, thank you sincerely. Yeah, friends, I am very discombobulated this morning, so Lily, I do not deserve those bits in the slightest, but I will say thank you all the same. That's kicking off the morning with 1,500 bits. Lucifer, Watto, friends, and thank you for taking point on the thing with the thing. For some reason, I've misplaced my sleep this week. Don't know why. That's a thing that's happening. Human bodies are fucking weird. Ah, Lily was going for the Yaldum. So Alden says, wait, what's a counter? Well, by my understanding, Stepagen just countered Alpha's counter, right? Yeah, it does depend on Stepagen. If we were resolving the stack, the dab was placed, then a counter dab was placed, then a counter. So what's the target of that initial counter as it resolves downwards? Martin's like, I've never been very good at sleeping. I'm trying not to go full nocturnal, Martin. I mean, one of the reasons why I get to see your stuff and Jenny Nexus' stuff is because you all do content stuff when I am able to watch. Well, anyway, yeah. The question is, does Stepagen's counter alphas, or does it counter the initial? That's a question. And yeah, Lucifer, your project management skills are showing, and I've never been more grateful for them. Katros is like, apparently, the human body can spontaneously grow new bones. Fuck yeah! Human body! It's weird! So, how is this stack resolving? This is very important. We can ask an official chat referee in how it resolves. Lily's like, also, got 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, anxiety, yay! The sleep-deprived squad goes once more. I was watching the Beyond Good and Evil trailer this morning a couple of times, because it's so good, my friends. Like,
those are my time travel trousers. Those are my tea trousers.
I have a feeling that the failure of Ghost Recon, the Angry Dog Bloke, I had the feeling because the failure of that is why we're not going to get Beyond Good and Evil 2. And it upsets me. Like, I want to play as a monkey with a grappling hook in cyber India. Like, stealing stuff from gangster boars and flying around on a hoverbike. I want that. I'm not as keen on the same shooty McGunbang thing we've had so many times. So Lucifer says, what are you doing today? Post-dab drama. And Lucifer's also saying, no one is sleeping properly this week. That always... It's one of those moments where I understand how superstitions can spread so fast, because reading that Lily was also having a hard time sleeping this week, and, you know, Jenny saying also constantly losing sleep is very relatable, and I'm like, yo, what if it's something that's affecting us all in Washington? What if it's a conspiracy? No, wait, no. That's stupid dumb brain. Good work, stupid dumb brain. That's how you get paranoid. Alna says, I think we can wait for Gods and Monsters before we can consider Ubisoft's strategy on their new titles versus Legacy series. True. And Ubisoft do a strong showing at E3 each year. And that's okay. But from the financial calls today, we know that we're not going to see Beyond Good and Evil until 2021 at the earliest. And if we take into consideration how long that's been in development until this point, it's like... Iris says, I'm paranoid and very sleepy. Well, you're in the right company of friends. Okay, so but seriously, Sadlin, Neopale, Jenny Nexus, Iris, Clank, Neopale? The Gym Plays, Step said hi, Bismarck. Bismarck was telling us there's some dope modding stuff for what was it? Europa Universalis 4 and another one. Hearts of Iron 4 and Crusader Kings 2. Which is feckin' cool. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, Bismarck, I need this coffee in my system. I misread what you said. So Stepagen says it was a counter to the dab, not a counter dab. Neopale, I'm so sorry. The official judge ruling... now, unfortunately, it means that Alpha of the Deluge's counter dab fizzles on the stack. Because Stepagens would target the initial dab, and then Alpha's, unfortunately, fizzles off into oblivion. But, you know, I don't make the rules. I'm sorry. This is how the stack resolves. Lucifer's like, Blackout Club comes to Washington. Oh, friends, it's everything I can to not boot it up and play it today. But I am playing it with Kyle and Lexi. There's a whole slew of new content. So, friends, be on point for tomorrow because it's going to be off the hecking chain. Walrus Ware, Watto friends! How are you all doing? Neopale saying, if you want to blame planetary influences, blame Mercury, because it's in retrograde. Like I said, looking at an incomplete data set and trying to find correlation is one of the fastest ways to go do Lalitap. Because you can create causality either like mathematically or in your brain with incomplete data sets. What was the one about Nicolas Cage movies? Oh god, what was it? It's like GDP. It was like GDP versus Nicolas Cage movies. I'd have to find that little data set again. So, how are you all doing, dear friends? Ehrman Watto, friends. So I'm guzzling down a cup of coffee. I got very distracted this morning.
I'm new to time travel and it is a bit lonely. Thrown me all over, maybe someone can show me how to get home or how to get Jeffrey. Even I'm impressed.
I don't have any big news to share just yet, but good things are happening in quiet. The GDC stuff's starting to stack up. I'm trying to decide. Time for a pint, all welcome fine. All time travelers are friends of mine. Everybody in at the end of the line. It's our pleasure to introduce a super group with new music for you. Romana on percussion and more. On a sousaphone, Jules Verne on flute, Isaac Newton looking right at home. Hitchhikers guided. Oh yeah, Ehrman, don't forget the classic correlation of number of pirates and global warming temperatures. Yup, it's a good point. Okay. Oh, and Lily. At least when they saw a dog that looked like their childhood dog. Cried a little. Yeah, thankfully, my most beloved of childhood dogs isn't a very common mix, so it's not something I have to worry about seeing very often. But it still gets me a little choked up. People, take them or leave them. Dags, I'm like, you are precious and lovely, and I will move heaven and earth for you. So I was basically doing the Tony Hawk's teeter on the edge of the bed last night because River managed to lay like next to me and then do that slow spread out thing until I'm basically doing the balance on the lip of a half pipe. Waller says, got to the last boss run of Slay the Spire yesterday. Miscalculated one thing and died. Oh, it wasn't the bloody time slug, was it? I hate that guy with a furious passion.
It's a little bit new in here. Spill drinks on Doc Brown doing cheers. Get another round, order new beers. It's truly weird. Every night's New Year's. No day after, there can't be hangovers. In no time at all, there's nobody here sober.
Okie dokie Lokis.
Nobody knows who gave Gary Sparrow that.
Yeah, Katros, I am very, very all over the place. I do apologise. So, how are you all doing, dear friends? The thing that I was looking at this morning is that basically Ubisoft have done their Q3 financial call. And what we have gleaned from this, unfortunately, is we're not going to be getting Beyond Good and Evil until at least 2021. If it hasn't quietly been sunsetted, because that game has been on development for a long-ass time. It is also interesting that their quarterly revenue have been down, like, well, by a quarter. It's funny. So, in my little heart of hearts, I worry that Ubisoft looked at its upcoming list of games, and it looked at the expensive one they've been making for a while that's not going to be out, and just quietly went, no. That's my sad correlation. Macromac what, old friend?
I've got my pot. I've got the lot.
Macromac's like, I'm so done, but also so happy. The brain is done from sorting 500 cards today. Like business cards, Magic the Gathering cards, throwing cards, death cards. It's not a thing, actually. Okay, no. I'm sure if I Google it, there's an anime of it, but... one of the few good things about doing battle with sleep management has been finished BoJack Horseman last night. Slowly catching up on Mr. Robot. Going back and rewatching a handful of those episodes, having seen a few of like the breakdowns of how they got made, and just sitting there and being like, oh, this is brilliant. I do also understand that a lot of Mr. Robot is kind of like, is the tilted beret arty TV maneuver.
My lovely horse. It's not your horse. Can't have a horse. Not a horse that's even like my horse. It is my horse. It's got 4 legs. It is a horse. I ride it around because it's a horse. That's what you do when you've got a horse, and that's very much what I've got. I've got a horse. My lovely horse.
Alpha's like, wait, death cards are a thing? One of those cards I've been using for the last 3... Alright, okay, never mind. Said nothing. I mean, everything's a death card with enough velocity, right? Okay. Lily, yes you did. That was Professor Elemental's I've got a horse. A lovely horse. Look at my horse. It's a lovely horse. Everything else that's going down seems pretty calm games industry-wise. Companies I never heard of that seem to own a conglomerate of companies I have heard of have made more money because fucking Q3 and all that nonsense. What else has been going down? Oh yeah, so what Bismarck was saying earlier is that if you are playing Hearts of Iron, if you are playing Europa Universalis for Hearts of Iron 4 or Crusader Kings 2, there is an exploit that's been found that allows you to run code via mods, which is a little bit scary. So if you are playing any of those games in the regular and have downloaded any mods in the last, let's say, 5 or 6 months, you might want to do a deep scan on that one.
If I'm drawing a blank, I give thanks to the tank when I retire to Hermitage Shanks. Hermitage Shanks, you're my piece of the rock. Down with the britches, out with the old. Clasp the chain with the
Games industry seems calm. Games industry spontaneously explodes. Mr. B, I need you to not right now. I need you to very not. Okie dokie. Satanson, oddly no Mortal Kombat 11 at EVO. I saw that lineup. That's one of those things. They're bringing back Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Ray saying, could be the Beyond Good and Evil 2 is being developed for next-gen hardware. It's not a bad shout. You know, like, being in the first lineup of next-gen is always a little bit scary. Oh, it's the 20th anniversary of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Okay, that's cool. Oh, and Katros, EVO... I don't actually know what EVO stands for. Huh. Okay, but for English-speaking territories, EVO is the fighting game tournament. It is the most well-known, is the one that most of the, at least, core fan base focus goes on. Now, there have been other, like, big prize money tournaments as, like, standalones, but EVO is consistently, year in, year out, the biggest fighting game tournament. What games they do and don't have on rotation is a big interesting. Friends, at what point is one allowed to start doing just IVs of coffee? Salem, thank you so much for articulating on that one, and please feel free to correct me because I'm probably going to misspeak a whole bunch today. But yeah, EVO is also the scene of the infamous Daigo Unleash the Beast moment, which is a little clip that I go back to again and again to remind myself why competitive tournaments, why that sphere of gaming is always worth fighting for. Can I have a hug? Do you need a hug? Just need a little hug. I do need a little hug. Just in general, I cannot seem to be coherent. So these lovely folks are putting up with me basically doing like the conversational equivalent of slipping on black ice. It doesn't look like anything. Ah, thank you, Iris. EVO is short for Evolution Championship Series. Thank you. So Sailors, the Street Fighter V finals were actually broadcast on ESPN2 a couple years ago. Yeah. Oh, and friends, one of the great things about being at GameWorks previously was watching this year's like Tekken 7 EVO stuff at the bar. TSCTH says hi! Martin says, I will never forget that clip of Street Fighter 2 with Perfect Block. Has anyone not seen that? And yes, I am asking you as an excuse to watch it again. So, yeah. Also, one of my favourite little facts was that Spy Party, the infamous kind of like 1v1 asymmetrical versus game where one person plays a spy and one person plays a sniper. The sniper must work out who the spy is, the spy must get through all their challenges. And they playtested that at EVO for years. That's where they did a lot of their initial back and forth. Alpha Deluge saying I don't follow fighting games personally, so I don't think I've seen that. Okay. Yeah, pleasant. New words. I guess, Alpha, the only thing you need to know is that Sonic Fox is a treasure, and one of the other examples of why not just fighting games as a whole, but why games as a whole is worth your time. Alright, well, Alpha hasn't seen it, so I'm going to use that as an excuse. I'm going to use that as an excuse. Daigo versus Justin. Jeez, 8.9 million views on this one. Bloody heck. Alrighty, so let's get those levels nice and soft, because they start shouting. So, for context, dear friends, you know what? Fact context. It's a fighting game. Street Fighter 3 is very, very, very technical, allowing, with perfect precision timing, theoretically you can block any attack in this game. You have to parry it, essentially, negating its damage, but you can block any attack in the entire game. Playing as Ken, Daigo will be on what is essentially the last slivers of a match. Oh, sorry. That is far too much clip. That is far too much clip. I'm very sorry. Okay, here we go. This is on the official Evo site. This one I particularly like because it shows the crowd reaction. If you don't have the hooks... Oh, Joda, thank you for popping in to say hi. I've been very discombobulated this morning. We will be jumping on with one of many choices. I just, as Favor was asking, have a myriad of things to choose from today. I've been grinding on a lot of stuff outside of, including sleep deprivation. So I haven't narrowed down to a single choice today. I have lots of choices, so do not worry. But right now, talking about Evo, and I'm using the fact that, as Salem brought up, that there'll be no Mortal Kombat 11 at Evo, to share my favourite clip of Evo. Yes, I understand how self-indulgent that is. Forgive me. Dark Thelmsby, how are you doing, friend? He's trying to go for the rush down, but with a sliver of health. Match, if not game point. I think it was just match point. No, it was game point for Chung Li's player. And there it is. There it is. Every single impact. Perfectly parried. The entire crowd goes ballistic. Oh, fucking hell. You had to be there indeed. So I've never gotten the chance to do Evo. I've never worked on a game that had a fighting game representation. And so it's a sphere that I've always observed from the sidelines, which I guess is why it's something that I've always wanted to attend. I probably won't, at least not for a while. I did get to meet Daigo very briefly, just got to shake his hand. He signed one of my fight sticks, which I think is still in the UK. Yeah, that was a weird night. What was that? That was E3... Was that E3 2013 or E3 2015? Strange one. And yeah, Sadlin, thank you for dropping the explanation. If you're curious as to the weight and context of that clip, why it's viewed and reviewed, Sadlin dropped a little news article there in the chat that you can look at to get more of the context of it. It's also, even in its own kind of, in its own isolated little way, you can get such a... You can get a sense of the impact and the weight, which is one of the things that fighting games do struggle with sometimes. That you can't always tell why one person is winning and one person is losing, because the disambiguation between, like, visual and systems is often quite problematic. I mean, Sailor and I have talked about this more times than I can count. One of the reasons why I enjoy both playing Tekken and watching it is because the understanding of what's happening is pretty easy to pass. Like, sure, you can get into frame advantage data and meta and all that nonsense, but frame advantage is just who can punch quicker. The first person to be able to hit the other person after an element. Punishing, when someone goes for a swing, misses, and then the other person's allowed to do more damage by just wailing on them. Yeah. So, it's also by failing why some of the BlazBlue derivative titles don't tend to get as much in terms of viewership. Oh, don't be weird with me today. No, we're good. We're good. Alna says, I need to look into see if Adam Spadix talk at GDC on fighting games, wrestling, and esports storytelling is still available. Is that the guy that did the blog for years that does all their fighting game breakdowns? Okie dokie. Oh, no. Dude Bloody Ready Run did the wrestling sports cast. Okay. So yeah, dear friends, how are you all doing? I do apologise for being a little bit wee. Day 3 of the what was sleep again has created perhaps not a divide by 0, but definitely a less than coherent individual. Alrighty. You know what, Catros? I choose to take that as a compliment. Catros saying, well, you're always a bit wee. Today's just a bit more wee than usual. Yeah. So I find myself with a myriad of choices. Even planning out this week, I really didn't know what to go with today because we've had a lot of strong titles. Like Plague Tale was interesting. And while Plague Tale is not a bad game by any means, I do find that certain kinds of games like that do like the narrative with puzzle solving do have this really interesting story to puzzle curve. That during the last third of a game, the amount of narrative and interaction, the amount of narrative goes down while the amount of like puzzles and interaction goes up. So kind of like the pacing between story beats does seem to extend towards the end. I know that's not a shocking revelation to any of you, but that was the point we got into Plague Tale. There was still a few hours left. But looking at the week as a whole, like Plague Tale, I knew was going to be a little bit po-faced. I didn't think it was going to kill the dog in the opening. Like, feck, was not ready for that, and it did not ease up on all of the nonsense. We've got Monster Hunter on Saturday, so that's cool. That's January. We've got Monster Hunter on Saturday. Tomorrow is brand new. TSCTH. Nice. We've got Blackout Club tomorrow. And friends, tomorrow the Blackout Club is all new content. So unless you have already been playing the public test servers, you may not be aware. But they added new missions, they added curses, they added a whole bunch of stuff. The potential of a new area somewhere. Now, Lexi's been eyeballs deep into it, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to us tomorrow. Oh, Lizzie, if someone had switched my coffee for decaf, it would just be sad. I've had to detox in the past for medical stuff. Okay, medical stuff. I fucked up my internal organs by having too much acid. To such a point as I had to cut it out of my diet. And coffee's very acidic, so that had to go. And it was a month of me being very sad and just kind of a bit whah. It wouldn't be a funny decaffeination, it would just be really tragic. Yeah, Jenny, cruel and unusual punishment. Morpheus says, Watto! Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, yo. Sturdy says, decaf is sad. It is. It is. It is. Although, if you order at Beth's, you get a little manatee that lets everybody know. You get a little manatee to put on the side of your cup so the servers know not to give you regular coffee. That's the only good thing I've seen about decaf. Yeah. Well, it's also why I've been reluctant to try anything to help with sleeping. Because, friends, I'm reliant on caffeine to function. I'm reliant on, caffeine, the moderator, to function as well. And the entire mod team. Who, why they put up with me, I don't know. Yeah. I am oversharing. I'm so sorry, friends. Elle says, it seems like you missed an opportunity. Put a manatee on your mug to indicate you want tea. I don't know if Beths do tea. Though I did find a manatee tea diffuser. Oh, back at you, Lily. Back at you, Lizzie. Oh, my fucking life. Coffee, heal me! Ah! Down in one. Now I have to make more coffee. Didn't think this plan through. Catcher says, maybe unwind Snipey Snipes today. That's not a terrible shout. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll chat with your lovely selves. Let's make a little list. I'll tell you lot the things that I was potentially planning on doing today. Apart from finding the idea. Sorry, it's my notes here on things we need to do to save the idea. Last year's calendar, this year's calendar, which was a gift from Tanari Wow, which is both lovely. It makes me a little homesick, but it's nice. It's all photos from back in the UK. Not an area that I know particularly well, but an area that I've been through. Oh, Iris, if you are interested, I might talk about it. Basically, one of my friends once said that she had to quit drinking because she was having a bit of whiskey at night to go to bed. And she realised that if she didn't have booze in the house, that sleep was nigh impossible because of creating essentially like a chemical dependency. Now, creating a routine that gets you to bed is great. I've been really failing on kind of the routine thing because I have a natural penchant for working late. And so what I've been doing far too often, not this week, but in previous weeks, is staying up late, doing emails while watching streams and things like that. But it gets me into this rhythm. So my friend, who found that she was drinking to help sleep, realized that without that, her sleep pattern was just ruined and had thus developed a dependency. So she was like, nope, nope, nope. Cutting that out, done. And I've always bared that in mind. Oh, shite. Alpha, thank you. No, wait, no, I actually did it. Oh, I thought I'd forgotten to do a thing, and then I remembered I was going to do a thing. Friends, the next episode of Memory Equals Null will be on the 22nd. I have locked in a Baron Sheep. I do need to talk to him about that. Clicking. Oh, Lizzie, thank you kindly. Here's me being a feckless idiot, and Lizzie's like, I'm just going to do some house Carl hunting while Will's basically going, whee! Mentally. As I said, it's like the conversational equivalent of black ice. I'm just sliding all over the place. But yeah, I am gearing up for GDC, and GDC this year is a kind of a weird myriad of mixes. I am looking to slowly increase the number of indies that I'm able to help on the regular. I think I've spoken to you all about this, but I'm going to say again, I am really looking to help support more games. Primarily, you lot. So if you are here watching, consider yourself part like the priority queue. Friends, I have not done enough to help Steel Fox with their game. I encourage them to go onto Steam. I've encouraged them to do certain things, and I've helped them with like structuring their store page and stuff like that. But comparable to how much they have done, I have done very, 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 very little. And yet at the same time, it's making me super happy they have a game coming out. Not proud, I take no ownership of it. I've had no input in its creation or creative process. But one of ours is releasing a game in like 3 days. Is this game going to blow the doors off of your life? I have no idea. Probably not. First title. But it's that thing that we always say we're going to do. They did it. They made the game. And whether the game is a very a very exceptional first entry into someone's long history of games, or whether it ends up being this like meta-narrative, bombastic, you know, Undertale caliber game changer. As an FYI, Undertale was not anyone's first game, and you know, there's a whole story behind that one. But either way, they've done the thing. And that's super happy. I want to celebrate that, and I guess I want to be more involved. Captain Stephanie Barnes, Watto friend! I am so lucky to have you lot. You lot keep me alive, alright? As I said earlier, Lily, I do not believe that I deserved it today because I forgot I'd hit... Well, I guess forgot's the wrong word. I hit the go live button and wouldn't have known unless Steppagen had gifted a sub. And I was watching the Beyond Good and Evil trailer. Also, Lizzie, I didn't say a proper thank you. Thank you for gifting a sub to Sturdy Kiwi. That's super cool of you. Jarlan saying Disco Elysium was the first game in the studio. Wait, was it? Don't tell me that was someone's first game, because that would melt my little brain a little bit. Okay, made by Zua A. Oh, why can't you just have a press kit? Oh, there we go. Cool. I was like, fucking Rami's done all the work for everybody. Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Zua M started as a cultural movement among artists. Okay. ZAUM was established in 2009. And the game studio has been active for 5 years. Okay. If that had been a first-time title, then that would have just melted my tiny brain. Aiko, you ask about the early one where I was jamming out to Naruto openings. Because that was a day. You all left me alone for, like, ages just jamming out. Aw, thank you, Katros. Oh, Jaralan, it's no worry. See, friends, one of the things I love about discussing all these topics with you lot is that if I'm wrong on a thing, and you'll tell me, I've learned something. And if I'm able to share some knowledge with, like Jaralan, I didn't know, so I had a look at it. If it had turned out that Disco Elysium was the first title by those team, then holy crud. Like, I wouldn't have been mad. The fact that it's not, that's fine. It's still, artistically, Disco Elysium is exceptional, and while I got beef, that does not mean that it is not good. It does not mean that it is not an incredible achievement. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, especially from those of us who came from forum or comment section culture on the internet. It's real hard because any discrepancy in your statement ends up being a dogpile attack from a bunch of strangers you've never met. Oh, you thought the Roman centurion sandal only had 3 straps? Well, you are sorely mistaken, and in my 18-page forum essay, I will inform you why. Moving in, like, creating a space where you can be like, oh, here's some knowledge about a video game thing you didn't know about, or, oh, the thing that Will just said about this particular development team in Croatia actually turns out they were based in this other country. Like, I'm not going to get mad, but I've just learned a thing. Oh, so I'm glad you like that one. I'm glad you like that one. Right. Aha.
Reactor online.
Hey!
Online. All systems nominal.
Beta, you feckin' ledge. How are you doing?
Fight the power.
Smash the system. Beta, thank you. Beta's just celebrating their 16 months. So along with Wraith, who else has been procking long subs? Oh no, it's just been the Hunters out today. Well, Beta, thank you kindly. But saying I'm good. Crazy week so far. Well, we were talking earlier about trying not to equate causality to incomplete data sets, because it seems a bunch of us are either not sleeping this week or having a crazy week. So I do apologize if I seem more discombobulated than usual. For whatever reason, sleep is an elusive monster which I am unable to catch, apart from very briefly. So we're gonna do a thing. Oh, I'm beta seeing a play tomorrow, which is a stage production of Neverending Story. Cool. So Katras is saying, I'm glad that my dad has a bit of a monologue streak. Because if I hadn't grown up on the receiving end of those tendencies, I might have become one of those 18-page forum... I'm just going to say spelunkers. Although that is a very good term of phrase, Katros. I reserve. I mean... Katros, like, you know, we all change and grow. You wouldn't have been that person forever, but... It sounds real cool. Oh, feck! Captain Stephanie Bonds. I'm so sorry. How are you holding up? Like, we got you. We got you. Yeah, Captain Stephanie Bonds. To echoes Lizzie's statement, and my axe. Would you want to kill? Not actually condoning doing a murder, mostly because I'm very tired. You know, moral ramifications, but also digging, disposing. You know how it is. Aww. Well, Captain Steph, pour yourself a cup of something warm. Settle in. I will be keeping you company here for today. So if you want to vent, go right ahead. If you want to vent, well, I mean, hell, you're one of the big proponents and supporters of the human maintenance. So, yo, we got you. We got you. Oh no! So Clank saying Memnol is the weekend I was planning to visit Seattle. Well, I mean, you might get to catch. Well, do keep blepping at me. If you're not getting anything, back from me, friends, it is because of the sight unseen of DMs. There's so many DMs. So many DMs. Yeah, but Clank, if everything lines up, touch wood, then we can go for a post-Memnol pint. It does mean that have me going, oh my god, I can't believe that happened, and just be like, why are you like this, Will? I get very excited. I get very excited. Yeah. And Captain Steph, I know it's real easy for me to say this. Oh, and Odysseus, thank you kindly for the follow. Captain Stephanie Barnes, I know it's very easy for me to say this, but crappy bosses are a naturally occurring phenomenon, and just hold on to that core of yourself. Like, you're good at what you do. You're a badass. And bosses being jerks and making decisions about you outside of their... Yeah. You got this. Sturdy says, Will excited since when? Constantly. As a general state of being. So. Oh, come on in, friends. Come on in. Right. Actually, let's go have a look over here. Because I think we need something... I definitely need something that allows me to chat to you lot today. Captain Steph says adult beverages will be had. That sounds like a plan. Captain Stephanie Barnes, well, I don't have it in the tank to full demeanor today. I'm very sorry. I am going to find something that will keep us all entertained. It's one of the few things that I can offer in this world. And I just, friends, I do apologize. Like, I can't put being awake this week on anybody else. That's on me. Ooh. Okay. Let me start drawing up a straw poll for you all. Okie dokie Lokies. And Beta, XCOM 2 is not something that one goes into casually. I feel that we will do another big campaign at some point with everyone together. The question is where? The question is when? God, time and space are getting a little bit... Woo! Sorry. Why are you doing updates? Why are you like this? Dear fucking Lord. Sorry, I was just... there was a couple of games on the Epic launcher I'd forgotten about that I wanted to have a look at with you friends. So I'm just updating the client in the background. And it's like, haha, would you like to update all of your games? No. Okay, but how about all of the other games apart from the one you told me? Okay, well, but what about that other... I'm like, no! Don't update anything! How about no? The only thing you're going to make me do is uninstall a bunch of games. And you also can't see the full list of... Old man yells at cloud. Sorry, very sorry. So, jumping back in... Oh! Fearless Son, once again, you have nothing to apologize for. And I know that assignment was badass, so please do let us know what happens with that, because I'm invested. But, yo, I've got nothing to apologize for. Like, my goal is to be that second scream. I'm supporting you lot. You know what I'm saying? Lily says, well, that woo is a constant mood. Either that or the Wii music. Oh, yeah. Is it weird to say that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the E3 Pro Bowl? It's just an excuse to listen. Do not update. Uninstall. Yes, I want to uninstall it. Sorry. Walrusware, it's going to be okay, friend. Walrusware is saying they're also having that mood moment. We got you. We got you. Captain Steph, thank you. And, yeah, I do not doubt it. I do not doubt it. I'm going to definitely need one of these, though. And thank you all for putting up with feckin' Wii, because this is not my usual modus operandi. Now, in terms of titles for today, see, and this is why I try and plan a week with a whole sphere of different elements, because I don't think finishing Plague Tale today is what's right. I think all of us are in a myriad of different nonsense. Now, we could...
Who wants to sing?
Hey, Wheeler Dealer! Thank you for the host, friend. But I mean it. Like, White Bloke Shooty Gunbang 3, now the protagonist's a bit good. That was where the series peaked. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, and I am probably not going to be able to pronounce that entirely. I'm just going to refer to you as West. I do apologise, but it's lovely to make your acquaintance. Wheeler Dealer says, I'm here for White Bloke Shooty Gunbang. Yeah. Boris. Boris, you have nothing to apologise for. Again,
Who wants to sing?
Neo Pale, thank you kindly for the host as well. Warswear, you do a wonderful job looking after my sorry self. And we all have good times, we all have bad times. I've been a rich man, I've been a poor man. I've had cash, I've had no cash. I do think about it a lot. That, especially when I was living out in New Zealand, like, I was pretty feckin' affluent. Probably the most, I guess, that was the point where I was probably making the most. In terms of, like, money coming in and daily expenditures super low. And then when you all first met me, I was living on Ket's sofa. So, well, and some of you a little bit before then. So, do no worry. Do no worry. I'm just happy to hang out with you. Hellflame would like a petition to change the use of FPS to Bloke Shooty Gunbang. I will say, though, in my pre-coffee sleep-addled brain this morning, and don't worry, this isn't on the docket, but I was watching Fred over on the Fremley stream playing Tarkov, and I was like, yeah, but what if we did a whole stream? We played that, but did like try to turn it into like a weird art house indie game. What if we did that? And then I almost had the other Will moment of me going, what are you doing? No one wants to see that. Yeah, but like, what if Tarkov? But it was about like feeling. What are you doing? You clearly are a loon this morning. Get a cup of coffee, have a shower, which is why my hair looks terrible. Get a shower. Stop trying to make an excuse to play Tarkov all day. All right. And friends, I own nothing against Tarkov as a stream. I am not entertaining to watch while I'm playing it. And do you want to know what my last 3 matches of Tarkov was? I got a rifle and a cup of tea. I went up into a tower and I stayed there for whatever 40 minutes times 3 is. I stayed up there for that total in 3 matches. Sniped some dudes in the end, and the last time I got lazy, got sniped myself. So yeah, Hellflame, 2 hours. That was not yesterday or the day, but time travel is weird. I don't know when the last time I played Tarkov was. I was about to say, played it last night. Wait, no, I didn't. But I played the day before. Oh, no, I didn't. Cam Step. It's one of the few things I'm good at. I can get a chortle. Casual says, I stopped listening for like 30 seconds. I feel I have no idea what Will is on about. Oh, it was basically, hey! Kazler. Now, people who can make Tarkov interesting. Friends, so Kazler in chat, Kazza in chat is, I can unequivocally say, my favourite cartoon dog on Twitch. On this website, twitch.tv. Is a wonderful, wonderful show to watch. And the shell in which Kazza lives is a wonderful person. So friends, do throw them a follow. They're also very good at Tarkov. Like, enough so that they can converse while doing all the shooty gunbang. And Kazza, what I was saying is that I was trying to come up with a reason of why I could stream Tarkov for a whole day. And and I was just regaling the last 3 matches I played was me in a tower with a cup of tea, just sniping. I was in reserve in one of the corners and just waiting for people to be like, whee! Oh look, a shiny, and I'm just like, clack. Next person. And what I love is, you've got to imagine, friends, I couldn't see it, But there was, because there was a little dugout where there's like a crate full of goodies, and people would run over and be like, oh, what's in there? They must have seen the bodies after a while. As if somehow they were like, all right, there is a crate over there. I see 4 dead people, but I'm clearly special. Like, if you saw a chest and 4 dead bodies around it in D&D, what would you do? You'd go the other bloody way!
Stop that incessant clicking.
And whoever that was from House Carl that just gifted a sub to Kazla, thank you kindly. That is super lovely of you. But yo, no, seriously, friends, do throw Kazla a follow. I sincerely recommend them. Catros says, so how about that straw poll? Yes! So Fearless says, in D&D, I'd stab the chest. I mean, that's fine. Kaz is saying, oh, that's also what they've been doing as well. Lovely. Well, Kaz, I learned a lot about Reserve from watching your shows. Okay. I do want to take a moment to at least acknowledge, and we're not excusing the devs for their shenanigans comments when it comes to, you know, having women in Tarkov. They're clearly wrong, and at some point they are going to end up adding, you know, everybody to Tarkov if they continue. That's just how it's got to happen. I look forward to hearing them admit they're wrong and having a little sip of brandy when they do. I don't actually have any brandy in the house. That's just metaphorical brandy. It'll probably be box wine. All right, it's box wine. All right? There's my confession. My evening drink is usually box wine. And I can kill a box of wine. And it's not a good idea. Sorry. But yeah, I've learned a lot from Kazza watching that. And one of the things that Tarkov does is that its density creates essentially a system of tribal knowledge. You can go on a forum and read everything about every map, but it's such an impenetrable amount of information. I've learned more from sharing stories with other players and from watching people like Kazla playing through it, right? And it struck me that it's okay to have that. Now, I was also reading about a game very recently which does a weird similar thing but from an artistic standpoint, and that kind of blew my tiny mind. Now, if you've been watching Errant Signal, you'll know the game that I'm talking about, and I hope you know the game I'm talking about because I can't remember. And one of the things that was really interesting about that is it's a partial claymation, partial drawing, kind of like narrative RPG. But what's fascinating about it is that the opening segment contains a video from the developer telling you what the game is about. Only there are 6 different videos, and you will get one at random that will play for you. And it's fascinating that you wouldn't know that that opening crawl is essentially a meta commentary on like game intent. That it's real easy after the game is made for a creator to tell you what it is about. And I do think that's fascinating. Now, that's not a derivative. The game itself is super weird and Indian art house, and I could probably pick it up. I'll probably find it here somewhere. But it's so fascinating because without that communication between the different players, we wouldn't know. With Tarkov's depth and challenge, there is so much to find on any one map. There is so much detail and involvement. Very much with an idea of creating stories, of finding and exploring and sharing. Oh, Warus, thank you for dropping the channel there. Oh, Alnus, yes! Alnus says, the ending to the film Clue. To replicate the nature of the game Cluedo, the film had a bunch of endings. Yeah, I think there was 3 endings, 4? So what's fascinating about that one, friends, is that whodunit changed drastically depending on which version of the film. And being pre-internet, like, that's exceptional. You'd only know by that kind of tribal knowledge share, which I think is fascinating. Wraith says the game in question is called Dujana. Oi! I'm so sorry, friends. Thank you. We should play it at some point. The topics are very, very heavy. The visuals are weird and quirky, but the themes are very much about being displaced and powerless in the face of like modern conflict. And that is not a topic that one wants to tackle on a sleep-deprived brain. Oh, Tomry, surely they would get a clue. Now, here's another little thing. The amount of detail that we've seen in Blackout Club's map, the amount to find and explore, the amount that we've been shown. Now, the Blackout Club does an interesting thing where as you're playing through it, it slowly expands as much of the detailed map as possible. So you get to understanding how much depth there is. But like, name fragments, how would you even know about those without like that tribal one-to-one communication? I guess what I'm saying is that it's okay to have obscure depth in a title, so long as there is either the systems to work around it, or that a user isn't removed from the experience by not understanding. Quite often, with especially a lot of very, very in-depth strategy games, if you don't know everything going in, yes, the game is as deep as the ocean, but you're gonna drown. Giving a very simple premise on the initial and then either expanding or trusting the player to try it more, like trusting the player to go through it, that's something else. That's something interesting and something that I feel that I would like to see more peeps do. I mean, my friend and I were talking about the idea of like, if you go into Tarkov with just a knife, it basically becomes a stealth hide, like, it just becomes a stealth game of trying to grab as many goodies as you can without getting found by players, NPCs, the whole shebang, like a super duper violent game of hide and seek. I kind of like that idea. Now, again, friends, I'm not trying to impart incredible artistic intent on Tarkov, because that team set out to create something very, very specific. They are succeeding at that. Again, and I do not support their stances and comments of late. They wanted to make DayZ Shooty Gun Bang, but with more of a round-based system. I think if they had the money and the technology was more simple, I think we would see them doing larger open worlds. But they saw what they wanted to do. They broke it down into little chunks, and they made it happen. I respect that. I'm not saying that they're, I don't know, artistic alter geniuses, but I also acknowledge that we can learn a lot from that are applicable to vastly different genres. In my humble opinion, I said genres. Kazza says with scabs, that's hard. But I like the idea of friends getting together and doing a game like that. Yeah. Well, Kaz, I mean, especially if you're getting towards late game, you could just do body armor, helmet, no weapons. Can you make it out? You got enough? Oh yeah, okay. Straw poll. Working on it. It's like talking to you lot, alright? It's the best part of my day. That and lunchtime. Okie dokie Lokis. Wheeler saying hatchling runs. Well, yes, but you'd need to have enough knowledge of the experience to properly, like, hide, evade. I think, Kazla, Wheeler Dealer also plays a bunch of Tarkov, and you've been streaming a bunch as well. It's having enough knowledge to do that. Ooh. Oh! Tomray, just real quickly, Tarkov, aka Escape from Tarkov, is an Eastern European indie title, hit big popularity over the winter on Twitch. TLDR, it's essentially more like a session-based DayZ type title. very realistic, very shooty gun bang. You go into an area, kill other players, other NPCs, leave with whatever you take. If you die, you drop everything, rinse and repeat. There are more nuances to that, obviously, but it very much follows that like DayZ derivative style of gameplay. Oh, Kaz, that would be hilarious if we could just take over a server. That would be a round of mischief. Tarkov trouble in terrorist town. Sorry, Kaz, when you said take over a server, my brain immediately went to, okay, but what if Tarkov but Gary's mod? Oh yeah, and Walrus Ware. That was the comments of the developers. They said they're not going to put women in game because it's too much work and because it counteracts the law. They're gonna renege that at some point, like, because that's a very silly statement. But like I said, I look forward to them being like, yes, we're putting women in the game. We're sorry. I'm looking forward to that, and I will raise a glass when they do. Tone Ray says I may boot up the Blackout Club. Good luck! We're playing that tomorrow! Okie dokie. Yeah. Like, friends, there's nothing to say on the Tarkov dev comments that we didn't say much better before. And like I said, I look forward to them admitting they're wrong in real time. It's going to be a glorious little day. Dash, they're really... Dash was saying there's a very specific kind of satisfaction when you get your workplace just how you like it. You are very right, and I keep putting off doing it here. I mean, I'm not unhappy by any means. Friends, I'm surrounded by Longship memorabilia, and Goblin Michael needs to get back to me because I have the Goblins Love Everybody banner here. I mean, Lizzie, that is also valid. So sorry, while I was intermittently bantering. So, one of the games I've been wanting to play with you lot for a while is called Superliminal. It is a puzzle game. It is very, very interesting. There is also... actually, no. Actually, no, I'm going to put... Sorry. Hi, I had half that conversation in my own head, which does not make for good Twitch. I was also looking at Manifold Garden and went, yeah, no, that's probably going to make me vomit today. Not actually. Last time I got motion sickness from a game was Sonic Adventure. I played it for like 20 hours without stopping and vomited. Manifold Garden is an exceptional looking game, and I want to show you all it. But the technology behind it breaks my tiny brain. And there's one thing that's fascinating is that you can spot the programmers in chat. When I show people Manifold Garden, and they're like, either, oh, okay, that's a feverish nightmare dream that I never want to contemplate, or they're like, oh no, see, it's a 4D thing that does this. I'm writing it, people, I'm writing it. Catch the Superliminal isn't a game to play when you're tired, I think. We can at least my inadequacies will be vaguely entertaining to Katros. Okay, that sounds cool. Dash is saying they also might be a nerd. Dash, I think you might be right. Don't tell anyone. But they've got this set up with 2 laptops, a desktop, Raspberry Pi, freestanding proper monitors, mini monitor for the Pi, surrounded by screens. Yes. I'm still amazed at myself that, like, a 2-monitor setup, that my brain's still like, but what if more? I do not need any more. friends, I am, aside from lighting, which I need to sort, I still haven't sorted. Why am I like this? How long ago did I move in here? I was like, I really need to improve my lighting setup here. Why do you lot put up with me? I do not know. I do not know. But yes. Oh, Geraldine, yeah, I still can't work out a whole bunch of those. The 720 circular rooms. What was the other one? The mirror universes make a little more sense to me. But that is feckin'. Yeah. I don't think it was half a year, but it was... Heck, no, it might have been. Katros, time travel is weird, my friend. Very weird. Oh, and Walrus, I just need some additional white lights. Lighting's one of those things where, like, you can spend a gajillion dollars and still get it wrong. So, I'm always a little bit cautious. Just need some more I need some more lights. Hang them off the walls. Job's a good one. It just keeps being one of those things that I only remember when I turn them on in the morning and go, that was what I needed. So Fearless has Twitch on the middle screen. Lovely. I mean, I'm always content. My goal, friends, is to be the second screen for your afternoons. And if I'm achieving that, then I feel like I'm doing my job at least vaguely well. But if I'm your third screen, or even fourth, well, that's a statement with intent. That's a statement with intent. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Oh. Alpha's like, you're my third screen, Will, and that's a real statement. Because holy feck, when did I get a third screen? When is it floating in the sky? Third monitor on work PC, first monitor on our hearts. Errorman, that would be like the little quote in the opening scroll. Alna says, you're my 0th screen. All things come back to Will. The gaze of the elders are upon thee. Like, share, and subscribe. Fucking hell. It does make me very happy that being on this, the platform of twitch.tv, I don't have to be all like, ring that bell and subscribe. I also know that I'm super lucky to have you lot, so that's why I get through this. Oh, Jaralan says, third monitor is that one you see at the beginning of Half-Life. It's just Breen on loop being like, welcome to City 17. Okie dokie. So what were the other ones? We did have... I'm not saying... So, friend, I'm not saying that we're going to play it today, because we did most of it, but is it weird that I'm desperately waiting for Starfetchers after we played it the other day? That game was so all over the place, and I really enjoyed it. How you doing, Tal? What, oh friend? Kaza says, you're my 05 screen. 2 screens at work, so you can't be on... You're on my phone. Ah, that's way cool, Kaz. A little voice in your pocket. Oh. Tomoe says, did that slime game ever finish? Do you mean Moe Astray? We did finish that, and friends, I do highly recommend it. Yeah, blue with the cyborg zombies, fucking hell. Zua O says, haven't had tea today. What do? You find tea? You find tea and you grasp it. What, oh friend? How goes it? Gandaran! How are you doing, friend? Ah, it's not on... The old... It's not on Humble. Alright, let me... So, Tommy, let me grab you a link for that one, because if you didn't see the end of it... I mean, I'm not saying... There we go. If you didn't get to see the end of it, I wholeheartedly recommend picking up. Because it was entirely worth it. Alright, Kaz, have a wonderful rest of your day, friend. I do want to do some shooty gunbang with you. I've just been very all over the place with, mostly with GDC cometh and stuff and things. Let's go with stuff and things. But I do, yeah, I would love to join you on your show at some point and do a murder. I've been faffing a boot with one of the Sober crew with Aperios Unlimited back when he was playing a bunch of it. So yeah, my favorite 6 casts. Raise waffle. Really need to get a coffee machine like there, so I can just be like, and obviously spill a bunch of coffee all over myself because I'm a bit too violent. But you know what I mean. Tomry, I have been compared to a lot of people, but never Major Armstrong. He's all like, he punches magic. He does magic punching. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just I don't need a license for these guns. They're already on safety. Oh, Lizzie, and Lizzie, I've got to say again, thank you for sending the Canadian coffee over. It's fucking great. Call the vet. Those Pisons are sick. Anemic, apparently. Oh, actually, Wraith, that's a real good point. Will gets 3rd-degree burns as an alert goes off right as he's pouring coffee. That's a good point. Oh. I have been very all over the place of late. Okay. Discord? Perfect. Wow, I went way off into space there. I do apologise, friends. I do apologise. Oh, I'm pretty sure I gave us away, didn't I? Friends, I was just seeing if I had any Steam keys to give away, but I think we've done them all. Which is good. Like, a Steam key unused is a game unplayed, am I right? It's just... I was gonna throw up some mosh pit sim while I make another cuppa and generally get my hecking nonsense together. Alphila says, Will, you could cosplay Godbrand. Godbrand's hench! I mean, I appreciate it, and the amount of wonderful comments I got about, but have you considered Godbrand when that show was airing made me very, very happy. Hey, Aperios, did I just summon you? Yo. Whoever that anonymous cheerer is, sincerely thank you. The spooky ghost just threw in 500 bits. Thank you. Pyrrha's like, maybe. No, I was talking about, Kazler invited me on their show a couple of times to be a Tarkov shooty gunbang friend. And I mentioned that you and I had played together. I also went off on a weird one this morning because I was trying to justify like a day spent playing Tarkov, and I realized that the reason behind that was just a general lack of sleep deprivation. But also, I guess trying to make the conversation fit the game rather than the other way around. It was a weird moment. Oh, and that's a very good point, as Wraith's saying. Season 3 of Castlevania is coming up next month, which I'm very excited for. Because it's so good. Oh yeah, sleep deprivation, hype! I don't know what's going on with me this week. Like, I'm chipper. Stuff's going well. I mean, there's a lot to get done right now, but there's not anything bad going down. And nothing of it's really stressful. So, you know, why is my sleep pattern just thrown for a whack? Yesterday, I was exhausted. I ate my body weight in food. Tried to sit down to crash and was just there, eyes open. Ended up watching all of Good Place current season, finishing BoJack, and watching a bunch of Mr. Robot. So, had good stuff, so I wasn't sitting there in the dark, you know, contemplating on my greatest failures. Which, that's a top 10 list I'm not looking forward to having to create at some point. Beta's like, you're suffering from mech withdrawal. I am really looking forward to the additional content they're going to be throwing in, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, Zuo, yeah. A Good Place is exceptional TV, and what was really interesting was jumping between that and BoJack, just because of, you know, finishing stream, getting dinner, watching Fiona do zombie murder on stream stuff last night. Oh, and getting to do some zombie murder as well. God, I want to play more World War Z. It's really fun. That might be Left 4 Dead withdrawal. Or it might be I just like the shooty gun bang. Who knew? Who knew? But what was really interesting was seeing two different shows tackle the topic of morality from very different angles. Now, I'm not even going to start on that one. No one wants to chat that, and no one wants to chat that whilst I'm incoherent. It would basically just involve me drooling a lot. And not in an entertaining way, in kind of a... Please stop, Will. But it's just an interesting thing to think about. Better scholars than I will probably do like 50 million video essays on that. But no video essays on Iron-Blooded Orphans or feckin' Taradruga, which is annoying. Like you're all ready to do 15 different videos on Sword Art Online, but why don't do a video on a show that's... Okay, nope, cool. It's fine. Okie dokie. Faye was like, hey, Sword Art Abridged was genius. Oh, well, basically, if any of you... Oh, man. Just, friends, so GDC's coming up, right? I want you all to know that I got my emails down to 14, 15 this morning. It's back up to 33. It's good. Sorry. Yeah, rest in pepperoni, Will. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So far, in the games versus sleep deprivation category, I've written down Superliminal. I don't think I'll go for Sniper Elite today, as it's not on you lot to do the heavy lifting, and I won't be the best host or conversation moderator. Oh, Tal! Tal was saying they watched the Good Place ending on Rush Hour Train. Never cried in front of that many people before. Yeah. It's actually... Without going into details, one of the things that struck me while watching The Good Place as its the ending of its current season. One thing that struck me was how I used to take an active stance internally to avoid having an emotional attachment to things like television. And I've been racking my brain to think about where that came from. I can't right now. But one of the things that's been interesting is that when it comes to video games, especially showing you video games, that because I'm actively engaging with what's going on, I'm also actively engaging with the emotional kickers. Like, the levels that television needs to go to make me feel something versus, like, I mean, the amount of times I have to psych myself up to do something I do not want to do in a video game, or the amount of times I get reduced to tears by, like, an emotional narrative element or something. Now, the point here is not video games good, TV bad. The more that it's interesting that I am actively trying to engage with games as a medium, and yet with television I'm almost keeping at arm's length. The idea that I've chosen one art medium to be at my core and I'm putting additional effort to find those elements. Clank says, random question, have you ever seen a parody game? I have, it's on the grand list. It is Max Hazard. Was kind of a Duke Nukem / 360 era protag parody game where, I mean, if you've never heard of it, it's not a monstrous spoiler. Having been in a very successful shooter in the early 90s, and then his IP being reduced from everything from like cooking games to kart games, etc. He is given a new shiny reboot in the 360 era. However, it turns out, yeah, Eat Lead, the return of Max Hazard. Thank you, Christix. However, it turns out that you're actually being set up to bring in a new protagonist, Metal Gear Solid 2 style, that you playing as Max are meant to die, like, forever in the opening crawl, and then they're going to bring this new person in. But due to stuff and things, that doesn't end up happening. Oh, feck, which reminded me, oh, feck. It begins with an A. Is it A Y? Okay. I know it came in through stuff and things. I was about to say something I wasn't manner. I know you're here. Know you're here, you bad word. Because so far I've only put one game on the straw poll list. I'm good at video games. Oh, not Cat's Quest. No. No, you're in here. Friends, we are going to do Heaven's Vault at some time. Which is to say we will do it at some point. I don't have the brain capacity to translate Dead Ancient Languages today, but I would like to play that with you. Or at least, like, as a group, for those that haven't played it. Oh, good old Crawl. I know you're in here, video game. How has Steam made it simultaneously easier and much, much, much harder to find video games that you own? Cases. There was one I've been saving and I just realized it's perfect, but I can't spell the name of it, so I can't seem to find it, which is very infuriating. Sorry. Zuo says there's no search bar. Hellflame. There we go. It's we'll turn it into a crafting stream. I'm going to make a straw poll today. No, and I do want to say thank you all for bearing with this Bantha topic. You know I do take your time seriously, friends, and this is not how I roll, usually.
Not been able to support you on the daily like I would usually like to, so here's all that support in one shot.
Gil, holy crap, thank you. Holy crap, thank you. On all the days. Gil, that is a massive amount of money. Thank you sincerely, alright? I'm just happy we get to hang out when we do, and that... I miss you too, dude. I miss you too. And I know you work your fucking face off, and I know all of the stuff and things. But, sincerely, thank you. That's... Why you put up with my ass, I will never know. But, no, thank you. That's gonna go on food, and might even splash out by a pint at sober. But, thank you. Caught me right off guard. Thank you. Gil, I've been a bit of a sleep-deprived mess today, so I've slowly been trying to build a little, like, here's what we got going on, and for some reason, these lovely Mother Hubbards are sticking around with me while I... Oh! So on top of Lizzie kicking in the doors this morning, Gil donating 75... Gil, thank you. And whoever that anonymous spooky ghost was, that's another 1,000. That's $10 to keeping this thing going. And yes, I do feel guilty on days like today where I haven't prepared. But thank you, okay? Sincerely thank you. I'm not feeling feelings, you're feeling feelings! Yeah, the reason the schedule didn't get done this week is the idea was on Monday I was going to get everything done and we were going to go over to a friend's house and, well, we're going to go over to Stooge and Stragers because they were like, we're going to make some food. We were like, yo! Fiona's car decided to cease being a car and just become a very large, noisy paperweight. And after the car failed to start, I saw the look on Fiona's face and I was like, you know what? Work can wait. Stooge and Strager came round. We had food. They brought the stuff they were going to cook there over to us and it was real tasty. And yeah. So it wasn't like I just got distracted by a squirrel or something. But also... Zoo was like, wait, how did you get the paper under Fiona's car? With great velocity, my friend, with great velocity. Yeah, when car becomes outside furniture, we've been there. I mean, I haven't, as I've never owned a car, but I know it's something that you all can understand. God. We could, friends, we could do a challenge today. So again, there's going to be a straw poll. You're all going to get to vote on. Fearless, thank you kindly for the offer. I am going to attempt to just slip into a coma tonight. My goal this evening, dear friends, is that I'm just going to crash post-stream whenever my internal organs are like, all right, bedtime, and I'm just going to hit the wall. And if I wake up at 2 in the morning, then that is the start of my day. So that means tomorrow will be a very long day for me, but hopefully it means that by the end of Friday, I'll be like, aha! That's my plan. That's my plan. Alna says, a challenge? The Nugget Centurion? I don't... Do you mean like 100 nuggets? Because Centurion is 100 shot... Wait, no. Centurion's just... 100 shots of beer? God, and that's a destroyer of worlds. Oh yeah, that's why we're not doing that one, because that one needs VR. You know, sometimes you have games in your library that you forget why you're not playing them. I feel like VR games in most libraries should have a little a little badge next to them. Sorry, it was a game called Falcon Age, which you have like it's soft sci-fi. You play a falcon rearer trying to solve robot problems on an alien planet, and the bird is obviously fucking adorable. Playing it without VR isn't a great experience. Oh yeah, Paris, it's a shot of beer once a minute for 100 minutes. Thank you. Centurion is a bastard. Faber says, Super Hot been streamed yet? Yes. Yes. Story about my uncle has been done, I think. I'd have to have a look on the list. So one of the other things that I've been meaning to return to is, friends, I've never finished Noita. I played it a lot. I played it a lot, but I've never finished it. So we could spend a day trying to climb the mountain. Well, descend the mountain. Or climb the tower. But you need to get enough kit to climb the tower. So Noita's really complicated. Now, we'll put the votes to the crowd. Completely unrelated though. I am thinking of spoiling myself, depending on how well that we have done as a squad this month. I'm thinking of spoiling myself and buying the DLC for Night Team 4, because I know Night Team 4 for its core isn't the most exciting experience to watch. I mean, God, I love playing it. But to watch, I can understand it's dull as dishwater, and that last chapter was exceptional for how it unfurled and how it told its last parts of the story. Also, if you have no idea what the feck I'm talking about, then you are in for a hot hecking treat, my friends. Alnus is saying, didn't you say there was a Longship chapter? There is a Longship chapter, which was made by... why am I blanking on their username? Why am I like this? No, Alnus, you didn't misunderstand. Oh, it was McIsland Games. Yeah. Oh. Well, Reflective, congrats, yo. That's always a nice little thing to see that coming backwards. Hellflame, you're probably entirely 100% correct, but I ain't broke yet. Wait, what in the bloody heck is that game? Well, Graphite said, all I'll say is last time you played 19.4, I did bet a $50 on the outcome. You did, and you were true to your word, Graphite. And thank you again for that, yo. Thank you again for that. Why in the bloody hell did I get this game? Sorry, Hey! Afternoon, Stooge. What ho, friends? How goes it? Pokey, Stooge, what ho? How was your morning? How was your stream? I have been almost entirely discombobulated this morning. But we've got a good group of people. The banter topics have had a similar movement pattern to Black Ice. Ooh, Pokey saying Stooge was a platforming master today. Do tell. Oh, you got to play the Square game. Nice. Way cool. So friends, some of you might remember from the beginning of the show, the Square game was the title I was chatting about which one of our lot have created. This is their first... This is their first game, and definitely their first... Sorry, this is their first commercial game. If you want to have a look at it, it's really interesting. Okie dokie Lokies. So, to counteract what is 3 days of sleep deprivation, I've been spending nigh on 2 hours now coming up with a fucking straw poll. You know it's gonna be a day, my friends. You know it's gonna be a day. So Reflective, actually, do we have any data on when Wastelands 3 is going to be dropping? Oh. Where is my heckin' mind at, dear friends? Aperios, thank you. I'm so glad I'm hanging out with you lot today. If this was an office job, this would be that day where I pretend like I'm working, but I just watch long-form Gundam videos all day and drink coffee. Aperios is saying, would following that game or adding to his wish list help at all? Abso-hecking-lutely. Friends, so the link that I just dropped, that's the Square game. That's Steel Fox's title, and I'm still so heckin' proud of them for just kicking ass and getting it done. You know, in a world where everyone has a great idea, they just made a game and are releasing it. Can't say fairer than that. If you do throw it a follow, if you do add it to your wish list, that does help. It helps separate it from a lot of the other games, and especially if it's a first indie title, it doesn't take that many wishlist ads, it doesn't take that many follows, just bump it up a little, you know? I've said this before, I will say it again, if any of you are working on a game, if any of you are making a game or are releasing a game, tell me, I will support the hell out of it, alright? Now, the reason why we haven't done the Square game yet is because without a core visual or mental hook, what the Square game puts forward as a product is gameplay, right? Gameplay is very hard to remember. When shown it's something that you can act on immediately. But given, say, a week, 3 days, 2 days, your remembrance of it might disappear into the ether in the event of, you know, another game popping into your headspace. So I'm waiting until it is a thing that people can enact on, that thing that people can then go, no, I will spend a couple dollars on this. Well, MDH writes, I'm very glad your plane didn't crash, and thank you for jumping in. And Gil, thank you for doing battle with chunky internet to get that wish listed, because that is going to help Steel Fox. MDH writes, we had a Magic the Gathering style stack resolution earlier of dabbage. 2 counter dabs were thrown like throwing stars from the sides. Wow. You know what? J-Post made a very good point. More Zoom juice. Though, despite being completely incoherent nonsense, I have been talking to you all for like nearly 2 hours? Feckin' hell, time travel is weird. But yeah, also friends, if you need someone in the mornings to watch before my dumb face yeets itself internet-wise, do throw a follow on to Stooge. I don't get to watch as much of his stuff as I'd like because mornings are an exercise in pain and futility, but I do recommend them wholeheartedly. Alna says, did we get through all of Coffee Talk? We did not. Coffee Talk is a game that I probably won't do another stream on because it's very much an experience. The ways in which you change that world are so wonderfully gentle that you should play it. Friends, I will put my stamp on it and say, you should buy a copy of Coffee Talk. You should spend a day or two playing through it when you need to not. When the hardcore of Tarkov shooty gunbang or the brutality of Cook Serve Delicious is too much. Go into that, because playing it smooth, the way in which you can enact change in that game is so wonderfully subtle that I'm thoroughly impressed with it. If you just watched me play it a little, you would be remiss in thinking that it's just a straight down the middle visual novel. It's not. But you know what I'm saying? Reflective saying, speaking of Magic the Gathering, local game store is throwing a Commander deck tournament and donating all the generated money to a family of an HS kid hurt from the head vehicle hit and run. Okay, I don't know that particular event, but the idea of doing a Commander event to raise charity sounds awesome. I tried to organize one a couple of years back and it didn't come together, but I wanted to do it as a fancy thing. Perio says we should just start doing coffee shop talks from around town. Like, it's the same, you know? Hey friends, do you want to go on an adventure today? Do you want to go on an adventure? Deus is like, yes. Thank you, Clank. I mean, it would be terrible in-car... It would be terrible in-car audio. But we could go... Perios, we could just go get coffee. Or perhaps I've just gone... Oh. Smooth Jazz Hour. Okay, no, I wonder if I'm just going completely dilally-tap. I tell you what. Fancy Japanese jazz. What is going on in my life? Reflective, we do need to play Zork. Zork is one of those ones I want to do it with a group of people in the real. I want one person who's never played it, and I want to get a couple of really, really energetic individuals to read them everything that's going on. Okay. Well, no, so, the thing that I'd be looking to find Reflective would be enough people to have someone go through it here, in the space, and have people with them to explain. Okay. You know what, Aperios, that was a little bit to throw at you on the immediate, you know, pants and things like that are required for coffee shops. I've seen what happens for individuals that walk into a coffee shop sans pants. At best, it's awkward. At worst, it's policey. I'm saying, do white noise generators work? Just rediscovered them. Depends on the quality of the microphone. Clank saying, I can't get coffee with you all until 2 weeks from now. Clank, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. But as I did mean it, do keep blipping at me, because at least for the next day or so, I'm going to be feckin' wee! Fearless is like, throw my kilt. Best way to go coffee shop pantsless. Point. Wait, no, I don't mean pantsless. I mean, like, sans pant... Okay. Okay, I see what's happened here. Perio says, I'm out of tea, and I don't want to unthaw some coffee. So this works. Alright, friends, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go on a little adventure today. I'm gonna do a little teeny tiny road trip with the Perios. If my teeny tiny phone fails on us, then that's another matter. Yeah, we're gonna do Will's Adventure Time. I think that would really help. Just get me some air, get me some adventures, go to a place with some coffee, and thanks to Gil's donation, like Aperios, I get to buy you a coffee for a change. We can get a pastry! Holy shit! Gil, I don't know if you're still here, but I just realized I now have pastry money. I'm not saying that whole thing. Most of that money is going to be spent on food like, you know, surviving for the week and, you know, stuff for the G-Pigs and the DAG and all of that one. But I'm going to get a pastry. Maybe a donut. Maybe a Danish. Who knows? I mean, Aperios, I've heard there's a Fresh Flowers nearby here. And that place, their coffee, good. Their pastries, dope. And it's fresh flowers, as in flour for bread. That's the pun. Kanaran says, how much does a tattoo cost? Oh, actually, you reminded me of a thing. So, friends, you may have met Tia very briefly. How do I know so many Tias? All right. So one of our friends. Is going to do some of the Longship artwork on my arm. The how and the when we need to work out, but that's a future maneuver. Because if I can take the money that has been donated from you lot specifically to do that kind of thing and give it to a friend, I'd much rather do that. As we were saying, tattoo costs on dependency, complexity of design, and time. It does. I haven't actually asked Tia how much. I'm literally saying, hello, I've been sleep deprived and distracted. How are you? Yeah, Will and Imperios, go get coffee. This adventure is happening. And although Imperios, the challenge, if you're still there, the challenge is, if you can come on over here, don't knock on the door, because River will go be like, bork, 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 bork. And I'll just let you in. We'll chat to these lovely folks for a couple of minutes when you get here, and then we'll go from there. So basically, friends, what I can do is like stream down here, stream up here, literally hand to hand. Favor 6 is like, remember to use sunblock. Your skin is very delicate. Favor, we both know that I'm a low-tier vampire. And that's why I live in Seattle. I don't have to worry about the sun. Actually, that's a bit of a misnomer. The summers here are actually super warm and really nice. I just have to hide from them. Friends, I don't know where I found this. It's jazz remixes with Cowboy Bebop samples in. How did I not know this existed? Sometimes, friends, the internet gets us. Hellflame, if that isn't the first line of your rap album, then I'm disappointed. Saying, the sun is a miasma of incandescent plasma. Wow, I managed to deliver that line without tripping up. I must be tired. I have no natural rhythm or flow, and anytime I've attempted to do anything vaguely musical in the past, I trip over myself because I get overly nervous. Will facts! Fearless is saying there is... Okay, there is also one other thing that I do... No, see, it's one of those things where if I say it, I know what you lot are like. So I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to keep talking. Alright, so let's do a quick little, just a quick little round. So friends, what are you playing right now? Not what is your favorite game. Last game you played. Let's just do a quick round of that. Because what's been really interesting is chatting to people and being asked, like, yo, what are you playing at the moment? Also, the squad of Anonymous Spooky Ghost has been very active. So after Clank dropped 100 bits, there's been Spooky Ghosts refilling the pint glass. I didn't even see. Okay. So, Dash says, Minecraft on the right-hand monitor. Nice. Aldous wants to go get dicks. We can get dicks. I will stuff warm dicks. Summer Lynn's been on Stardew Valley, XD Johnny XP on RimWorld, Hellflame Ring Fit Adventure, which is a really solid game and exhausting from what I've seen. Alpha's on Persona 4, Favor 6 on Neverwinter, Candaran's on Temtem, nice. Salen's on Sea Salt, that game is so good. Ehrman says, finished work. You said Noita now playing that? Maybe. We might be going on an adventure? So me and Aperios and me might go in a car and go get coffee. So it might be Pale Egypt's Adventures. Oh, that's a great name. I'm really good at naming stuff. Wabbin's been on Monster Hunter. Alan's been on Slay the Spire. Just started loving it. Nice. I'm terrible at it, and I miss being able to hang around Ket, but yeah. Well, Ket was streaming it because I could feel like I was good at it. Fearless has been literally just Monster Hunter right now. Nice. We got that on Saturday. Jaroline's playing Star Trek Online. Nevada's on Euro Truck Sim, which, by the way, friends, if you haven't read the Vice article on why that is the best Zen video game of all time, you deserve that. Cryostic's on Mark of the Ninja Remastered. Was it yourself that was saying that was really good on Switch? The Prolo... Meep. Oh, no, the Prolo's playing Temtem. I just read Meep. Martin was doing some Hades. Nice. That's got to be... Isn't that hitting version 1 very shortly? And, see, friends, one of the reasons why Dix is always a nice adventure is it's really affordable. Like, yeah. Will and Aperios getting coffee! Sadin says, V1 targets for Hades is like... Oh, the first version is like Q3, unless I've missed some news. It rolled out on Steam, which got it a really nice uptick of Keen. Anna says the Pale Riders. Interesting. Yeah, well, see, Walrusware, this is why whenever anyone comes to Seattle for the first time, you have to take them. So, just in case you're wondering, we're not being a cavalcade of horrors. There is a... To call it a fast food joint would be to do it a disservice. There is an establishment, an institution in Seattle, which is Dick's Hamburgers. And every person, not every... Oh, Pale Riders, our nickname for the adventure. Nice. Pale Riders. Will and Aperios get in trouble. The idea of doing those little, like, adventures is a great one. Well, on the grand list of things I need to look into, I need to look into kit that will make it more pleasant for you lot to watch. Also, it's going to look like me and Aperios have a soft filter. That's because there is a perfect hairline crack across the screen, which makes it look real cool. But anyway, so you come to Seattle, you've got to take a friend to Dick's Hamburgers, just so you can say, eat a bag of dicks. But then, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Like when Caffeine came to town, and I was like, Caffeine, you know what you got to do? He's like, what? Let's go gobble dicks in the park. He's, excuse me, sorry, what? You'll see. So we went to Dick's Hamburgers in Capitol Hill. We acquired a double deluxe. We strolled across, and then, yeah, I thumbed a dicks into my gob. It was a good day. It was a good day. Yeah, dicks. More fun with friends. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, yeah, Deus. The dicks up in Cap Hill gets real rammed, and it's not... I mean, all the dicks are the same. The one that's closer to us is a bit more kind of like a classic, like, hamburger drive-through type place. So yeah, okay, that's our plan for today. This is not how I thought today was going to go down. But like, friends, I was looking at the games that I wanted to show you all today, and some of them were like super dark, some of them were super like art house. I didn't want to turn today into a purely self-indulgent, like, Will in sweatpants playing shooty gun bang and ignoring the world, because you lot put a lot of time and effort and cash into keeping me alive, and I take your time very seriously. I do play these games, and you know what I'm saying. Feck, I must say this every feckin' day. I don't feel any pressure from you lot to play certain kinds of things. I don't feel any pressure to, you know, make sure that I'm always, you know, tilted beret, pipe smoking, indie art house, chuckle shuffle. The idea that I can help us all experience titles that we would have otherwise missed is something that I really believe in. If I can show you all the parts of games that I've played prior and love, even if they're not the greatest creations, that makes me real happy. Like, friends, we've done 2 shows now on Final Fantasy 15, and you all seem to be really enjoying it. And being able to revisit that has been really good for me for a myriad of reasons. One, getting to show you the stuff I love, but also, like, that's a game that means a lot to me. And getting the chance to re-experience it, to find new things, to get into mischief. Like, the first time I played through, I never got the prompto thing where you have to get like a handful of mushrooms and try and feed it to this gigantic monster. Hellflame, put on your pants! We're getting dicks. Yeah. Faber says, Will needs a laptop to take to the coffee shop to stream games from. I wouldn't want to do a game stream in that space. Maybe that's just me. I would hate it if I was in a coffee shop having the worst day of my life and some British chodesan's like, what up, YouTube? It's your boy, Slam Nubbins 8000, coming to you with another live video right next to this guy who's clearly having the worst time. Can I tell you, TwitchCon gets real surreal for the sheer amount of people IRL streaming from strange places. Never get used to that. Jeff in time's like, oh heck, it's Slam Nubbins 8000? Yeah, I knew him before he was big. That's my new YouTube name. Yeah, XD Johnny XP. You know I did. I am very excited for tomorrow. I am very excited for tomorrow. Oh, and if you weren't aware, so friends, we've been playing this game called the Blackout Club. It has been one of my favorite experiences. It has been one of my favorite experiences of gaming in the last year, and they just released a big content update. Tomorrow is going to be our first time experiencing that, so you do not want to miss it. The whole gang is going to be together for that one. Hellflame's like, weirdly, Slam Nubbins 8000 ironically started out as a small indie film reviewer. I still would have watched Minecraft with Mikey. But yeah, sorry. I realized that I actually dropped off the face of the planet midway through my points on 15. It was basically just thank you. You all seem to be really enjoying that game, and I don't want to do 2 days on it back to back because I also know that its pacing and its structure can get a little grating if you're just playing it day after day. Okay, another thing I love from hanging out with you lot. Now you're all writing Slam Nubbins' backstory. Alan is like, okay, but Slam Nubbins did some really insightful critique on French art house scene. Yes, that's very true. Also, this was how Smithers ended up with a parrot in Memnol. Smithers didn't deserve a parrot or a backstory. And I won't say anything else if people are trying to avoid spoilers. Oh, I had a chat with Aperios the other day about turning Memnol into podcast format. So what it would take to do a cut that chops up each episode in something you can listen to in a podcast. Basically, Aperios is going to work out how much it's going to cost him to do that, and then we're going to make it happen. Oh, I thought my phone started ringing there. What is this playlist? Favor, especially when I was staying at Ket's, like, the fact that I even had the money to occasionally go down to a coffee shop was thanks to the Longship, and I don't know if you ever saw it, Favor. So the internet at Ket's house was super stable, because CenturyLink, yo. But occasionally, just due to the infrastructure and reasons, the internet would go down. So I'd walk down to Georgetown, which was a little kind of punky area. So one particularly chilly day, I can't remember if it was the snow day or if it was just bad internet day, but I trundled down the hill with everybody on my phone being like, hey, what up? And we make it to the coffee shop. I find a nice little window corner and we're just chatting back and forth. Because it was like a travel and stuff, there was a bunch of people that wanted to see Seattle, see Georgetown. So we did a little walk around the block walk around the block, settle for coffee. And then I want to say was it J Post? Or was it J Cripps? Darn it, it was one of the J's. Dropped a red bit on me while I was sitting in a coffee shop, and I'm there stifling back. I was J Cripps, thank you J Post. And sorry, I hope that I didn't mean to speak casually of it. I'm just having memory recall due to sleep deprivation. Having issues with that one. But yeah, I was just choking back tears in the corner of a coffee shop in Georgetown. That was a day. The clip's still around here somewhere. So I'm not even going to joke about, you know, picking up a cuppa because, yeah. I know how lucky I am to have this. And I will... Well, if it ever sounds, friends, like I'm taking you lot for granted, feel free to yeet a shoe at me, alright? Or let me tell me you're going to yeet a shoe first, so it's not like one of those, like... Alanus, no, we can't have Slam Nubbins as a character. This can't happen. Oh, Alanus was saying, that 48-hour charity stream that Slam Nubbins did, the Nub Slam, raised a lot of money for Doctors Without Borders. Alpha, yeet a shoe, not yeet my shoe. That's basically a... That's some, you know, Witcher combat videos type murders. Fucking hell. So James was saying, Johnny, thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Look, I'm just one of those people that loves video games wholeheartedly. And the fact that I get to still keep chatting to you lot about it. Makes me real happy, yo. Oh. Now here's the question. Should I make a pre-coffee mission coffee or not? As... Oh, and to, oh, I do apologize that I cannot pronounce your username. No, it dropped out of my head. But hello, welcome all the same. How are you doing? War says, nope, you know, that coffee shop sip to be fresh. Okay, so we can do this, friends, we can do this. Force of will, it's happening. We've got the power, we've got the people. What was the thing with the thing? Where was the thing with the thing? I nearly found the thing. Darn it! Saw it! And it was gone. Oh well. There we go. So Lizzie found the bit clip from prior, getting stealth bombed while I was in a coffee shop. You fucking legends. And yeah, okay, I will end up. We're going on an adventure today! I'm just telling John this is happening. And I've been banned from getting coffee till we get to the shop. So this is now becoming a challenge stream, my friends. I've been chatting for 2.5 hours coming up. Waiting for John. No coffee till we get there. Can I survive? Oh. And Lizzie, like, jokes aside, thank you for digging those up. I do like celebrating those moments, and I don't like talking about them because I don't want anyone to think that I am fishing for more moments like it. Like, it's not how I roll, but having those pop up does, you know. I know you lot got me, and oh, Johnny's like, challenge stream. I challenge you to do a backflip. Johnny, I probably couldn't even do a fucking cartwheel at this point. I used to be able to do a no-handed cartwheel as at the height of my my physical fitness. And Hellflame was just saying, what I wouldn't have given to be a customer in that shop, seeing a lad shaking and gesturing violently at his phone. I mean, it's like Seattle's a little bit like London in the sense that everything has been seen before. No one is surprised. Favor, why? No. You can't make slam of it. Okay. Actually, I get no say in this matter. It's between you and Baron Sheep. If it was up to me, I would say no, you can't have slam nubbins in Memnol. But there we go. Oh, Alnus, let me show you the link. Friends, this is the smooth bebop jams that I got going. And I just forgot that I left autoplay on. Walrus where it's like, the people have spoken! Seriously? Johnny, that's feckin' badass. Congrats, yo. Johnny was saying that the height of their physical fitness, they're on Ninja Warrior UK. Yeah. I heard that they did a series out there. Like, way cool. Did you manage to clear? Because, wait, Ninja Warrior was the one where it's one course, and you have to clear it within a certain time, and that's it. That's the whole challenge, right? Oh. Sorry, friends, my brain was immediately going back to Memnal and being like, oh, Baron's leave it on a cliffhanger thing. I love it and hate it with equal measure. Like, it just leaves me... Because the thing is, friends, I'm in the same point you are. Like, I don't get any insight into what's going on. Baron's like a feckin'... I'm never playing poker against that guy. Friends, I have seen Baron drunk to the point where he is phased between several realities simultaneously, and he still won't tell me anything. In fact, he dropped the reworking of the Light of the Weaver's quote on me when I was the same level of Wonky Donkey. Always planning, that lad. Always planning. Favorite was saying, at the height of my physical fitness, I could walk from one side of Alton Towers to the other without wanting coffee or tea. That's impossible, and you know it. Johnny says, I have the highlight if you'd like to see. Yeah, go for it. Amy says, speaking of Memnol, is there a condensed version? I'd love to listen to it, but streams of 8+ hours is too long for me. Well, that's one of the things I want to work on with John. It's going to be more... That snare needs to calm the hell down. There we go. It's one of the things that I'm working on with John and Baron is that we're going to turn it into a podcast format, which will make it easier. Also, Dorchus has been doing these incredible write-ups of the episodes and what happens. So if you wanna light novel it, at least the last few episodes you can. And yeah. Because the thing we've realized is that one of Memnol's great successes is that it's accessible. And I mean, like, everyone is welcome at the table. It is us playing one character, not just me. And I really like that. Doesn't matter if you have a ton of experience. It doesn't matter if you've never played a tabletop game before. It doesn't matter if you're partially infused with Infinity and curry powder. You're entirely welcome. I don't know where the curry powder part came from. Nice reference there, brain. Sorry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have watched every Critical Role or none. You're welcome to join in at the table. Unfortunately, we're starting to suffer the problem that I guess all of these tabletop situations do, which is after a while, getting into it is a big challenge. Way cool. So there's XT Johnny XP's, though it does say your full name in the title. Are you okay with that? Because I can ask the mods to purge it if you'd prefer not. But if so, then yeah, that's XT Johnny XP's run. Congratulations, friend. See, the thing is, when I was at the age where I could have done that, Ninja Warrior and stuff like that hadn't sprung up, and we were still living in the shadow of reruns of Takeshi's Castle. So, yeah. The Ascendant Tikka Masala. Yeah, Ami Masashi loved Takeshi's Castle. Though, here's a strange fecking turn of events. From visiting my dad intermittently as I was growing up as a child, I got exposed to MXC, the Spike TV redub of Takeshi's Castle, before I was shown Takeshi's Castle proper. So, that's a thing that happened. Thing is, rewatching MXC, when it's funny, it's still incredibly funny. Some of it is horrendous. And some of it just comes across as a bit silly. Oh, Favor 6, a manga of Memnal. Bloody heck. I wouldn't inflict that on anybody. Like, I love comics. I am a manga fiend. I don't read as much as I used to, but friends, know that there was a point in my life when people would... there was particular comic stores I would walk into, and they'd be like, "Oh, Mr. Overguard, this is what you put aside, and this is our recommendation." And I'd just go, yes. There was a time. Having met people who've worked in it and having dabbled a little myself, comics and manga don't make any money, and it's heartbreaking to admit, my friends. It's heartbreaking. I want every comic to make about... I want all my comic artist friends to do so well, and the comics just don't make money. The business model's so broken. And feckin' hell, there was a time, friends, where Drunk Will's obsessive topic, my Solve the Universe topic, was how do we fix the comics industry in terms of how it makes money for artists. Sadly, haven't found too many. For the most part, basically, be independent, get a following external of your work, and then use that to either Kickstart or Patreon through. Favor 6 was working on The Boys until their Kindle died. Shame I hadn't the chance to read that. I did also find out that Lock and Key is going to get a Netflix adaptation, so fingers crossed it's not terrible. Petula. Screw global warming. Let's fix comics. Drunk Will doesn't apparently want to fix global warming. Drunk Will's fixed gender and sexuality with friends a few times, and if I could only remember how to write it all down, that'd be great. No, sorry. I didn't mean that to sound as glib as it did. It's a joke of Lucifer and mine, is that every time we get drunk together, we always end up deconstructing the concept of gender and sexuality and things like that. But we always get ruinous. So the next morning we're like, what did we talk about? Oh, I can't remember. Ah, piss. Oh yeah, Sadlin, I'm very curious for that adaptation. And Sadlin was saying the Audible full cast version of Lock and Key was weird. Wow. They didn't adapt it, they just used the comic as the script? God, that must have been jarring. Ami's asking if there was ever a Crystal Maze game. I'm sure there was. My brain can almost hear the MIDI sounds going dun 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 dun. No, not Crystal Mountain. Okay. So there was a Crystal Maze video game. Apparently released in 1993. It was a CD-ROM-esque point and click. Nice. Man, the internet is weird. Sorry, I went off on a complete tangent there. I do apologise. Petula says, I get guillotine happy when I'm drunk. One of my friends was a political scientist, and his favourite topic is when I was like, all right, but what if I fixed global politics with a giant robot? And it was his equivalent of Zelda is the boy. He knew I was trolling him. He knew I was trolling him, but he could never leave it alone when he was drunk. That was a good night. Nevada says, I know a comic artist that started out as a YouTuber, then went to write and draw comics as true passion. YouTuber phase helped him with success, but now he's balancing drawing comics and streaming on Twitch. Well, see, Nevada, it's finding revenue models outside of issue sales that allow you to maintain. Because comics are an incredibly time-consuming process, and the payout for single issue stuff is never great. And there's also diminishing returns on single issues. Eventually, every comic will phase out because every time you miss an issue, you're unlikely to acquire the next one. So there's always a diminishing return. Occasionally, a first issue will do a rerun because of a spike in popularity, but yeah. Saying also paid to get Harley Joel Osment, Kate Mulgrew, and a couple other on the cast. Yo, fucking cool. I mean, at very least, that sounds like an interesting listen. Might not be the most coherent, but yo, please tell me Kate Mulgrew plays either the mum or the villain. Oh yeah, Jarrelline says, short runs can also turn people off. I got into Rocket Raccoon, but it restarted with new writers after like 12 issues. Yeah. One of the stories I've been following over the last few years has been one called Kill 6 Billion Demons. It is a gorgeous and at times nonsensical jaunt through the multiverse with powers unknown. It follows Allison, who in the first panel is trying to sleep with her boyfriend for the very, very first time. And then an interdimensional fight crashes through the bedroom. He's kidnapped, and she is imbued with one of the keys of the gods. And then wakes up in an interdimensional realm go. It is gorgeous, gorgeous art, and a plot that focuses more on Allison's personality and her emotional state and the effect these events have on her, rather than a coherent narrative of what is actually going on. And so what this artist was able to do was launch it solo, then build up enough of a following there, secure a publishing deal with, I want to say it's Oni, but yeah. They also did the Lancer RPG book, which, by my understanding, has done very well, but that was more of a standalone thing. Other artists I know that have done very well came from other industries first or had something of a following to do that initial jumpstart. So, Ami's saying now, reading after a bit about the article, the Crystal Maze sounds like it would fit well in D&D 5th edition. Oh, it would. Just mix up the encounters in different ways that people can solve the problem, and it would be great. Like, teeny tiny little puzzle rooms that can be solved in a myriad of ways with some very weird specific subsets leading into a central area. That's great. Also, this is another good time to plug the West Marches campaign that Baron Sheep has been heading up. We will be kicking that off soon. Friends, I need to put my hand up and say the reason why we don't have a start date for the West Marches campaign is on me. As I said, I've been backed up with work stuff, and that is one of the ones that is just falling under the pile. So I will
control that force through fluid motion.
I will chat with the Great Baron Sheep. I will get us a date. I will make this happen. Though the Dice and More Dice channel is currently where all of the scheming and planning is going. Oh, and XD joining XP, yep. Xbox Game Pass just added Final Fantasy 15. They also added a couple other titles that were very interesting. Where did I see that? Is it PC Games N? Too many sites. Oh, Metro Exodus is releasing on Steam next week, for those of you that didn't want to play it on Epic. As a heads up to someone that played a lot of Metro Exodus, it is not kind to your PC, so do not take its minimum required settings lightly. It's interesting, and if it's vaguely up your alley, whether or not it's one of the great games, I could not tell you, but you'll come away with a story. Alright, fuck it. There was a bunch of other games added to the Game Pass this week that were noteworthy enough to have stuck in my mind, except for when... Except for when not. Wait. Did Daymare already come out on Steam?
Master, you see it? I was fluid. Like water.
Oh, it did come out. It came out September last year. Sorry, Daymare was a game I was following for a while. It was like an original IP title designed to feel like a 90s tank control style survival horror. I was stalking that game for ages and it came out before I noticed. Sorry. Yeah, Hellflame, it is a little weird, and especially because all the samples in this little like jazz mix are all from Cowboy Bebop. It makes me go, wait, did I leave, oh no. But yeah, John's gonna get here, and we're gonna go on an adventure, and we'll get some coffee. The internet will probably be trash, and it'll sound awful, and it'll be all over the place, and it'll be an experience. Alna says Daymare. Sorry, played. Was not great. True. I do want to do, is it Obscure? I do want to do Obscure with someone else at some point, local co-op, because Obscure is a catastrophe of a video game. But it swung for the fences, and sometimes I'm more impressed with the attempt. If you haven't heard of that one, think old Resident Evil, like 1, 2, and 3. The original classic, but as co-op. It was a PS2 era game, was made by some third party, and you play a bunch of teenagers stuck at school, and there's monsters and nonsense. In it, got a Steam release. Here we go. Look at this hot, fresh mess. You know, it's one part Buffy, one part Resident Evil, but with co-op. And sometimes, friends, and I know how much hypocrisy I am spitting forth here. As someone who tries to inspire devs to think laterally, don't overshoot, make games that are small and sustainable, I understand this is some serious hot heckin' BS that I'm about to say now, but I love it when devs swing for the fences, because so often it ends up being something inspired. However, it doesn't usually end up being good or sell a lot. So I'd much rather that, you know, your first video game make enough money so that you can eat and keep making games and do the things you want to do. That's what I want for everybody. I mean, hell, if it was mystically possible, I'd love you all to release your favorite game and make $1 million. Or however much $1 million is in this weird economy that Will's proposing. I know that's not possible, and I know that's not realistic, but that's my hopes. So, yeah. It's often hard to talk about, like, enjoying those games where they try for something so weird and so different, it doesn't work, and it kills the team. It always feels hard to talk about that, because it's like, if they boxed clever, they'd probably still be making games, right? But then they wouldn't have made something that stuck with me. Do you know where I'm coming from? It's nice to see someone experiment in the kitchen. That's true, Alnus. That's true. XD Johnny XP with just saying, but Will, I know your OBS cure. Oh yeah, Jenny Nexus. If nothing else, we can die trying. Together! No, it's one of my favorite games Okay, favorite strum. One of my most discussed games of all time is a game called Mindjack. And it's a mess. I don't even think you can play it. I think it's 360, but I think they turned the servers off. Like, it's bad. Now, the premise. You play a super secret super agent on the trail of some bad evil terrorists. But then, oh my god, what's this? An evil, like, plague of AI nanomachines? Oh no! It's a generic third-person shooter with an overly ridiculous plot. But the hook is that it can go from a Gears-style single-player experience to a Mad Cat multiplayer experience anytime, anywhere. Go. I hope your day at work is nice and smooth. Thank you, friend, again. I'm going to turn that money into a coffee for me and Perios as we go on an adventure, so sincerely thank you. Yeah, coffee and a pastry. Oh, Gil, if I did, then I'm doing my job right. Oh, thank you. What was I ranting on about? Yes, Mindjack. So Mindjack hook was fascinating. At any point, players could join your game as a sentient swarm of nanomachines and possess any NPC. You could possess a regular standard person. You could possess a security guard. You could possess a Roomba. You could possess, and I kid you not, a cybernetically enhanced super ape. And it was brilliant. Now, okay, brilliant was a very strong word. What it had was this escalating fun that at any point the set piece battles could go from benign and boring to like bombastic and exceptional. Where they failed was elements like you still had skills, perks, and unlocks. So higher tier players would spawn with more health, more damage, etc. Meaning new players forget about it. Also, there was no place where enemies couldn't spawn into your game or friends spawn into your game. So, all right, I will put my hand up and say that after being bullied by a particularly vicious cloud, I decided to take my anger out on someone else. So I joined a game as an invading cloud, and they were fighting a boss. So I possessed a scientist, picked up a shotgun, waited until the boss was at a quarter and the player was about to heal. I just went round the corner, clack, done. They will have to play that whole section all over again. Alna says, why wouldn't you play the robot gorilla? Well, you had to find it. So the idea was kind of like you could go for the immediate NPCs that were close by to the action, or you could like hover around the map and try and find stuff. For every enemy cloud that came in, they'd try and bring in a co-op cloud to help you. Yeah, it's ripe for toxicity. But they swung for the fences, and what was fascinating was then Dark Souls coming out later with a more refined variant on the same system was really surprising. I mean, but Mindjack's selling point was the invasion mechanic, essentially. Without it, it was just a generisaur, third-person sci-fi, shooty gunbang. So Stu's like, wait, what's this about mindjacking in chat? No, mindjack. We're not jacking anybody's brains today. It's a lot of effort. Alright, I'm gonna say it again because I'm a feckin' cheeseball, but thank you all for putting up with today. I don't know why it is that just talking to you all about games I love and nonsense we wanted to get into was apparently what I was all about. Because I've been talking coming up on 3 hours. Check me out. I mean, I love talking video games. Shocking. And ooh, there's going to be an expansion to Below. That's cool. I look forward to... Sorry, I was about to say something very glib, and I'm now not going to say it because I'm absolutely not the type to go fishing, and you know that. I think it is worth referencing that I didn't get the chance to play much of Below due to basically being drowned under a wonderful bunch of humans being incredibly generous. Stooge, I got maybe like 30 minutes past mowing the grass. If that. Meow Kitty Sakura with, the 5 is safe. Huh. Favor, the phone vibration sound in the last song was actually... Oh, Lord. Thank you kindly for the follow. The vibration sound in the last song was the song. So, you know, gotta have that special jams in there. Oh, yes, and friends... Alongside Final Fantasy 15, Wolfenstein the Youngblood was the other game available in the Game Pass edition. And also Death Squared, which... Did you ever encounter those games which it feels like everyone already knows about and everyone's already talking about, but you've never seen it before? Oh, well, to Lord, hello and welcome. Find yourself a space. We're talking video games and a general... Okay, we're talking video games. I'm basically the conversational equivalent of Black Ice at the moment. We are drifting from topic to topic with very little direction. How are you? What was I saying? Oh yes, Wolfenstein the Youngbloods is also in Game Pass. So, that's a thing. Oh, okay. On the subject of wafflemancy and topics. Oh, Ticket to Ride's free. Sorry. So right now on the Epic Store, there are 2 free games. Carcassonne and Ticket to Ride. The Carcassonne port that they're giving away free is alright. It's not the best, but if you've ever wanted to play that game without having to do the maths behind it, it's great. Ticket to Ride's Ticket to Ride. The problem is, friends, we're going to have the conversation about Kingdom Come Deliverance again. Because on the 13th, Epic's going to be giving it away for free. And I'm not looking forward to that chat. Because that was hard enough to deal with the first time round. Oh, and to Lord, I'm doing well. I mean, I'm chatting with these lovely Mother Hubbards and having a wonderful little afternoon. Very shortly, my good buddy, fellow streamer, and sober director... Aperios Unlimited is coming by, and we're gonna go on a coffee mission. So I'm gonna jump us all over onto this phone. We're gonna go on over to a nearby Seattle coffee shop. Well, try and go to Fresh Flowers because that's where I want to go. And we're gonna do a little coffee stream because I'm enjoying chatting with you all. John and I have been meaning to do this as a thing. So yeah, stay a while and listen. I'm also going to get pastry because Gilbot was very kind and donated a bunch of cash. So yeah, so Lord, if you want to see a little bit of Seattle, partially from a car, partially from adventures, then stick around. It'll probably be a terrible quality stream. And I will not be offended if anyone's like, yeah, no, Will, it sounds like basically a bunch of wet bones rattling around inside a tin can, so we good. Oh, Walrusware says, I have no idea what that chat is. Oh, okay. So the TLDR is, I initially wanted to do a stream about the game Kingdom Come Deliverance, because there was this discussion when the game came out about why everybody in that game is as white as the driven snow, and the developers put forward the case that it was historically accurate. And I wanted to talk about both historical misconceptions and historical blind spots. That is to say, parts of history which we have theories about what happens, but we have no data. In Europe, most of our data comes from ruins, birth certificates, ruins, births, deaths, and taxes. If you did not die in Europe, and you did not pay taxes, you were basically an invisible ghost to history. So it means that we have no real way of tracking the migration of humans throughout Europe. Because of things like the Black Death and stuff like that, we know people traveled. We know. Like, we know the breadth of which it moved across. And especially considering where Kingdom Come Deliverance is set, it was very close to a port town. So there would have been a lot of travel, a lot of trade, and a lot of individuals moving through. So initially I wanted to address those issues whilst playing the game, because it does... Oh, sorry. And Lord Loss, lovely to see you, and I hope I said hello earlier. And to Lord... I do apologise. I speak very fast, and I completely understand. But thank you for putting up with my English tones talking quickly. I don't speak any Turkish at all. And you're the one doing the heavy lifting here, so thank you. And I do hope you're having a good day. I'm probably gonna start speeding up again with the talk because I got a momentum problem and I talk a lot of stuff. Walrus Ware says, ugh, it's the Tarkov lore excuse again. Well, this one was initially grounded in history, and then I think it was the day I was gonna stream this. I found out, I can't remember if it was from people in chat, I can't remember if it was my research because my brain's jello. But I found out that one of the lead creatives on that is a very, very loud supporter of Gamergate. And, like, Gamergate's a hate group. And I did not like the idea of doing a full stream for something that supported people that have vocally and actively supported said hate group. You know, we talk a lot about, you know, separating art from artist, and I don't ask everyone to come along with me on these opinion quests. Like, if you don't want to play Metal Gear Solid 5 because of Quiet, that is entirely fine. I played that game, enjoyed it, but I will never let Kojima forget that bullshit until he... Because maybe Kojima's never going to listen to me. I mean, bloody hell. But others might learn from it. You know what I'm saying? But with that one, like, that goes against my core. You know, Gamergate ruined the lives of so many people, and so many people that I know personally. Like, there's so many friends I know who will never go back to video games because of them. So many people have had to change addresses, houses, whose friends, family, and people have been harassed, death threats, and nasty nonsense. It's... yeah. So, it puts me in a weird position, because from what I understand, as a technical piece of art, Kingdom Come Deliverance is made very well. It's stodgy and brutal, and when it breaks, it's hilarious, but I loved its premise, which was, we're going to make a open world RPG, but set it in history. And as someone who worked on the Total War series, like, I love that premise. I fucking loved how Total War, as a franchise, goes, yes, I'm going to set you in a period and time in history, and you're just going to go for it. Like, I'm going to set up the board exactly like history. Every nation has, you know, the same territories they would, an approximation of the resources we feel they had with the varying trade agreements and alliances. But as soon as you pick up that mouse, as soon as you hit start, whatever you do from there, feckin' wee! Go for it. Oh, that might be a John in a second. Ami Masashi says time travel will might still be there to this day. Feckin' time travel will's an element. Also, Lord, not Lord Lost, but Lord says that they play Mountain Blade Warband. Oh, when's the sequel? Alrighty. Friends, do bear with me just a second. I think that's a John at the door. Even gonna leave the microphone on. Yes, it goes. John. not in a bad way, but like, that's a good point.
I live in my office. That's the way I'll put it.
I found a John. Alrighty, so if you don't mind taking a seat and chatting with these lovely folks for just a second.
Just chatting.
Just chatting.
Just chatting.
Just chatting. I am going to pee very quickly, and then let's see if this works, dude.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
We're going on an adventure.
Be quick.
Yeah.
Don't come off the ground or anything. Rocketing into the air.
If you see me yeet past, just that's natural. Also, introduce yourself, these lovely folks.
Hello. I am Imperios. I'm that random person that lurks in the chat every now and then, and I also do a bit of streaming here and there as well. Not him. I am the one that he plays games with sometimes late in the evening. Oh, this is adorable. Y'all ever seen this? Things to remember today. I love you. You're doing great. Grab today by the horns. Don't forget to eat. I love you more. I get these at home too. These are great. Not from the same person, mind you. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's 4 of them. I actually used to have 7. But that was quite a bit of metal to handle. River likes the jacket. Aw. I did get affiliate, yes. Yeah. I think I got affiliate after like 45 days thanks to some lovely communities. Oh, 83 Stooge. Hello! I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad everybody is having a great day.
Yeah, this turned out real good, and thank you for coming over, dude.
Absolutely.
It's so strange because I plan wholeheartedly what we're usually going through, and if not, I've got like backup stuff. You know those moments when it doesn't seem to fit? Like I'm looking at the games I've got, I'm looking at the things I wanted to show people, I'm like, no, I don't want to go back into Plague Tale because it's just too grim.
It's a lot right now.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been weirdly having a hard day today.
Well, I mean, given the state of the things in America as well after yesterday, I can understand a lot of that, but that's okay. We're here to talk about video games.
We are. I'm not saying that stuff's not important, but I strive to give people a breather.
Right? That's why I post cat pictures on my Twitter, because Twitter is a fucking trash fire.
But I've actually, in my little instructions today, my instructions today, I've written to just post something kind on Twitter.
Also sleep. I see sleep is on there.
Yeah, I'm doing, so friends. Alright, I guess I should show you. Come here. I made myself a little list of like things I should do to be better like mental health wise. Like tweet something nice, look after yourself, message a friend, stuff like that. Because I'm real bad for not sending DMs to friends unless it's about work things.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get out of the habit of that.
It's interesting. You're not the only one. Like I've seen a lot of people that are in this industry have a similar problem, because whenever you want to play games with people, it feels like work because they're probably working doing their thing.
Yeah, and you don't want to invite yourself into this space.
It makes it super tough.
I've done everything well on that list, like eating food and things, except for sleeping. I've been failing to do that. But I've been trying.
Well, it is number 5, so it's not the most important thing.
Yeah.
Have we looked up a coffee place yet?
There's a Fresh Flowers nearby that I'd love to check out because I haven't been to.
Cool.
So Lord was asking, as a Turk, how do you feel about Turkish people? Well, the one thing that I always found like fascinating was the sense of like national pride that Turkey has, especially when it comes to history. Like Turkey, Hungary, why am I blanking on? There's specific countries that take just a nationalistic pride in their history, which is really interesting. Which, even though the English have a lot of history, there isn't a national pride in it until there's like a sporting event or something like that. And then suddenly it's all Agincourt references and nonsense like that. But like, it's from the little interactions I've had with individuals, Actually, I guess that makes sense because Turkey has featured prominently in a lot of the games I've worked on, and thus I guess I've had more interaction with like people from Turkey who play video games. But they're a great bunch of people, super enthusiastic, frequently very, as a group of gamers, very direct but very passionate. The sad thing, unfortunately, is that Turkey as a market they don't buy a lot of games, which is unfortunate.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a John. So, Phyllis says, thank you to Longship crew. Go!
Heck.
Lily, what the heck? Lily, you already... Lily started the day by dropping 1,500. Here's me, like, sleep-deprived wonky donkey. Also, thanks to Gilbot, I am buying the coffees. This is happening.
Go.
So, yeah.
Coffee!
Okay. Coffee! So to all of you who have just joined us, we're going to do something a little bit weird. We are going to switch from this setup here to my phone. We're going to jump in the car, we're going to go on an adventure, we're going to buy coffee, and keep this conversation going. Maybe it's a catastrophe. Maybe it's a brilliant, brilliant idea. Who knows? But either way, let's feckin' try it.
Yeah. Yeet.
Okay, so I'm just going to start getting the stuff and things set up here.
Like all the stills. I brought an extra battery in case you start getting low.
Oh, yes.
Like a big old honking battery. Keep it wonky. Heck yeah. No, not yet. Actually, I should.
Alright, actually, I might need to do...
Time for 360p footage. Hell yeah.
There's the Flavor Town. Tull, so did you blame Vagabond for me dropping into your stream yet? Have you had additional Tull?
Yes. It's been great.
Actually, Tull's a fucking ledge. Community manager in the UK, has been a friend of mine for donkey's years and has put up with me being, like, even when I was at my worst, Tull has put up with me. And for some reason has decided to continue helping. Oh, and Lord, go get some sleeps, yo.
Get some rest. Be well.
Yeah. Yeah, Tull keeps being a feckin' excellent human.
Lily Longbean, so to answer your question pretty directly, so I spent a long period of my life homeless, from 14 to 21, and I got a lot of piercings through that time, and these were actually done by a friend behind the Starbucks, during a rainy day, where he was just practicing, and the first two were good. He literally like put the needle in, put the ring in, it was fine, went to do the second one, it didn't work, had to put the ring in, cut the back open with the needle, and then the other ring fell out. And this is all like behind a Starbucks.
Oh!
I don't recommend getting your piercings done the way that I got them. The other sets I got all done professionally after that.
I'm not bloody surprised.
But that was the first couple of them. It was an experience.
Yeah, wow. Like, I've had tattoos aplenty. Piercing's never been my jam. Though
kids, do not do what I did. Yes, do not do what I did.
One of the things I'm working out with Tia is, turns out Tia can do ink. Actually, I believe it might have been you that told me that one. And we are going to work out a day when Tia's going to come over here. I'm trying to think of a game I can play while getting this arm just with as much as. So that'll be an entertaining challenge day.
Should do like a Jackbox or something.
That would be funny. Yes, as Walrus West says, please go to professional places.
I am the new role model. Just do what I do, yes.
I mean, there's probably some bits that, you know, you might advise, like as a little time skip.
I would take out all the stuff that I did when I was a homeless crazy youth doing all my crazy stuff and just skip to the esports administration part where I became a professional. Less this, more this.
Oh. Okay, you lovely Mother Hubbards. We're going to switch over to this in just a second. So please don't go anywhere. as we said, it might be great. It might be a catastrophe. I'm gonna go put my shoes on, and then let's ride.
Oh, Walrus, guess what? I had a chance to play one of your games. So, I will talk about that later.
You can play one of Walrus Ware's games.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. I haven't had a chance to give them a crack. Oh! Also, we might have to gobble dicks today as well.
That's fine.
Because, you know, we were just talking about it.
I was watching the chat, and it is. I wanted to point out for anybody that doesn't know, it is legal to be nude in Seattle, anywhere, as long as you are not being aggressively nude.
Huh.
Fact.
I've seen a gentleman with no pants get bounced out of a coffee shop. That was interesting.
But he didn't get arrested, did he?
He did not. Would still be a violation of TOS though, so...
Yeah. We're
unfortunately,
not doing that.
unfortunately, pantsless coffee adventures are being put on hold.
See? Thank you. What is aggressively nude? Shrug. Yeah. I don't know. That's like, all I know is we got nude beaches, and we can be naked wherever we want as long as we're not aggressive.
Also, Seattle has mutual combat laws, so there. You can challenge someone to a fisticuffs. And while nude, so long as it is adjudicated correctly. There's fun Seattle facts, friends, you didn't know you needed to know until you did.
That's the Seattle-based game we need. Just nude fighting in the
super streets. Naked punch out.
So this conversation is...
Yeah, wow! This is the quality content you can expect from the rest of the day. Yeah, also, getting high as balls.
Fight other people for weed points.
Video games! Alright, friends. From myself and John River, we'll be back with you in just a second. Alright, friends? So don't go anywhere.
So John Bacon doesn't want to move here because there's naked people fighting in the streets over weed.
I'm not hearing a downside. Alright, friends. We'll be back with you in just a second.